And we are live. We've got audio and perfect. Absolutely well. Is everything perfect? Very well. A little bit over here. 80 this way. There we go. Ready. Very well. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed and beloved friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone accompanying us on this so precious day of Shabbat from California, United States of America, with a precious climate, and we start to feel the heat belonging to the 22nd of Aviv. Good thing the feast of Pesach has ended already with its matzot, with its unleavened bread. Today we can eat pizza, we can eat leavened bread, whatever we want. Today is Aviv 22nd of the year 5992, May 13th of the year 2023, and we shall study yet another chapter of Revelation 17, part 30. Seals, trumpets, and plagues 3. This subject is one that is, but of course, like I said at the beginning, but I'll repeat it every time, unless the roll has been opened and we have seen the effect of the seal of the trumpet and the plague, the rest is speculative. So then we are here to try to understand what will happen on the earth, whether it's like that or not, either way, but at least we've got the possibilities of how it could turn out, because that's why we're here. Either way, when the roll is opened, things could be different. They could be like we saw them from an angle that's a bit changed. They could surprise us greatly, but what's important is to not make a doctrine, not to make a religion, not to make a law. Things will be like this? No, absolutely not. We've learned it already with much time of anticipation. We like to speculate, but just so we try to understand that what's coming was not exactly like we were waiting for it, but we can get to understand it quickly. Never did we think and that the first seal trumpet plague, with the data that was there ever, we thought it was something else. We even thought, like we were taught, that it was the message of the gospel, the first seal, the white horse, that was Yeshua. A lie, an absolute lie. Even up until today, because the doctrines have been closed and the prophetic interpretation has been closed, the churches cannot advance ever. Closed. From hundreds of years ago, they cannot advance to understand the changes that have been taking place in the world, to understand how the history starts to demonstrate what Yahweh had said long time ago. So then, there's nothing here that's stable. This is just a chat. It's a Shabbat. That's why we're here. But there is something that is true and very important, is that we are, and that we still have not taken conscience of, that we are living the time of the plagues. For some, it would be inconceivable, because they've taught them that the plagues, it'll be a disaster on earth that's terror, horror, death, in every block, every corner, every house, every city, every town, every point of the earth. It'll be a disaster, and it isn't so. Absolutely not. It's never been anything like that, so it isn't so. We are living, because we see it clearly, in times of plagues. So then this is a very special time, very meaningful. And I believe that it's not the time in which we'll learn about anything. I believe that if the plague started, it's not the time of instruction, precisely the greater instruction, the thicker instruction, the meaningful instruction, the instruction that makes us change our way of thinking, of seeing our beliefs, has already passed. So then, Now that we've entered consciously, clearly so, into times of punishment unto the world, which is a punishment, quote unquote, because it's a new stage, the stages of the plagues, of the trumpets, of the seals. It's not the times of the greater instruction. I believe that the greater instruction has already been given, and now we are seeing how this will unfold. This is absolutely clear from the moment in which the first plague, when it started, we did not identify it as such, but now we can clearly see it. So then we are actually in the time that the prophecy marks the final time. How long will it last? Well, we desire with all our heart that it'll be this year. Could it be longer? Yes, it could clearly be longer, but things will start to unfold. But the time of instruction, the greater part thereof, has already been fulfilled. Very well. Without any further ado, today also it's the countdown. I want to remind you the countdown of the Omer. The Omer was a handful, the bundle of the barley. So then, from that time on that the barley was offered, we start to count down 50 days, and that gives us the precise mark for Shavuot. We don't understand. Actually, we could speculate, but we don't really understand why it's so important, this countdown. Yahweh in the Torah told Israel to count the weeks, the number of the weeks, it's 7 weeks, and to count also the days. For what reason? Maybe it has no sense. Maybe it makes any sense at all whatsoever. Not, but either way, it's not difficult for us to count. So then we are here on the first week that is already ending. For some of you, it has already ended because the sun has already gone down. That is already ending. First week, day 7. When the sun goes down, and some of you are already living in a place where the sun already went down, it's week number 2, day 8. But for us, in these last hours of the sun, it's week 1, which is ending, day 7. Tomorrow, it'll be week 2, day 8, and so on and so forth. Very well. So then we count it every day, and we find ourselves where we are in the countdown. It could be something important. Yeah, it could be extremely important. That's why we count it. We count so many times that why are we going to stop counting? I find it interesting. This countdown, it'll be for something, at least to get to Shavuot. Without any further ado, let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because we've already passed the feast of Pesach. We give you thanks because we are on this earth consciously alive. We know in what world we live in. We know how you set kings and take away kings, and that the kings that rule over us, you have placed them because you have a purpose, because in these people, it has to be a product of their choices. You have placed good and evil so that we can choose, and everyone must choose. We give you thanks because you have taught us the secrets to avoid the traps of this earth, and we give you thanks because we know that we are in the last final time, and we have not been affected at all whatsoever for any of these evils. In your precious name, we ask you that we can comprehend today's subject, whether it is how the plagues, the seals and trumpets be given or not, but always you give us the light in its most appropriate time. In your precious name, we're waiting for you. Yahweh Sebaot, our husband, Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Jose Luis Campos Gonzalez, Colombia; Gilbert Calderon, the Dominican Republic; Rosa Dina Figueroa de Albarenda, El Salvador; Eunice Castillo Calderon, Mexico; Maria Torin, Venezuela; David Mota, Brazil; Rubicel Sanchez, Chile; Aurora Esparza, Mexico; Jonathan Enrique Calvachi Gonzalez, Colombia. Luis Rosendo Gutierrez Tzoc, Guatemala. Amy Orvaez, the Dominican Republic. Migdalia Diaz, Guatemala. And Brenda Martinez, who is with us here today and will be celebrating her birthday. A very happy birthday to Brenda. To each and every one of you, a great big hug, many blessings, and may it be the very last that we have under the command of Babylon. We have another celebration, another birthday, which has already taken place. So it's already taken place 2 weeks ago, but which in the Gregorian calendar is about to take place. When? Tomorrow. In the Gregorian calendar, we've already celebrated. This ridiculous lady has already celebrated. It's been 75 years. It is under the pseudonym of the fig tree, or the great mountain, or the great city, or the prostitute. She has just had a birthday 2 years ago, 75 years old, since it placed its both butt cheeks sitting in Jerusalem. Since she sat down in Jerusalem, then once again, because they had kicked her out from this prostitute, but she came back. Apparently, she is from a different race, this prostitute, apparently, but we're not even going to go into that subject. Yahweh says that they claim to be a part of the fig tree, but really they're not. Actually, they're not. So then it is very open where the fuck they came from. So, but we already know what we're talking about, and it's already been its 75th birthday. When was it 75th birthday? Wednesday, April 26th of 2023, the state of Israel celebrated their 75th birthday of existence according to the Jewish calendar of theirs. But tomorrow, Sunday, May 14th, under the Gregorian calendar, they will be on their 75th birthday. They've already celebrated it, that's fine, but under the Gregorian calendar, it's tomorrow because 14th of May of the year 1948, they self-declared themselves an independent state under the name of Israel. What about tomorrow? It's Mother's Day. Mother's Day tomorrow. Look at the day of the mother also, in the day of our beloved mother, Israel. Wow. How exciting. We have a mother that's a bit of a prostitute, but well. What are we going to do? That's how the things are. And we have another birthday within a little bit that I want to mention it already that has a relation with this. The one that's going to have a birthday is called Heinz, like the Heinz sauce. Did you know about Heinz? Did you know that it's a brand from that place? Heinz, the Heinz sauce. Heinz is a last name and a name of theirs. Well, this guy's name is Heinz Albert Kissinger, known as, because he changed his name from Heinz to Henry to make it more American, so that people see, oh, he's American. No, he has absolutely dog shit of him, an American. His name is Heinz Alfred Kissinger, who was born in Baviera, Germany, May 27th of the year 1923. He's an American politician, quote unquote, of Jewish German origin, completely Jewish origin, who had a great influence over the international politics, and of course very, very nefarious, not only of the United States, murders in every country, with all the other countries, but also over other nations. But of course, it's the one that made China great. It's the one that took the American economy to China, something that should never have happened. And I could mention a great quantity of things. Bodies, you can't even count how many bodies they have in its closets. This Sir, Mr. Heinz Alfred Kissinger, is on its 100th birthday into Shabbat. So not next Shabbat, the following. When we will be on week number 3, because this is week number 1, then next Shabbat will be week number 2. Week number 3, day 21, if I'm not wrong. Week 3, day 21. Let's see if I'm correct. Let's see, week 3, because we have 1, 2. Also, yeah, week 3, day 21, Mr. in a Shabbat will be 100 years old. That sir, with his face, his story, his power, his advice, and his acts, represents greatly what the fig tree is. That sir, he is the face of what the beast has done. One of many, but that is one that is very highlighted. It would be a very great sign for us, for the fig tree, which he with his face represents very well, will pass unto rest soon, and that this grandfather, that I wish the best for him, that grandfather Heinz Kissinger, that can't see from one eye, that can't speak, that is bent over, that he won't die though, that son of a bitch. Okay, he, our beloved grandfather, I wish for our grandfather Heinz Kissinger to go into rest as he well deserves before the 100 years. That'd be great. That is my desire and my prayer, I would say. That is my wish and prayer. Very well. Now we move on to the following subject. I'd like to thank here Daniel and Jesse Ogando Santana for having given us 2 things. First of all, they sent this, which are kind of like a type of beef jerky, like a beef stick, a meat stick. I already ate one. There were 5. Very good. It's just meat. It's good. If you're hungry, you eat one of these. It sounds like it tastes kind of like chorizo, like a salami, but meat one. Very good. Many thanks to see if it was the address, and he gave us also to know if this Thursday he gave us this sword, a sword which is a type of a sword, the sword of King Arthur. I believe obviously it has it's not sharp because it's just to put up. It just to adorn the house. We could sharpen it. It's from steel. Most appreciate Christian and Leslie. We give you this present with all our heart from our behalf. It is the sword that comes from the sword, Revelation 19:15. We want to raise it to the cry of war. Long live the Argentum bride. Daniel and Jessica, a very precious sword, spectacular, a very, very nice. It's a symbol of the sword that comes out of the mouth of the one that is riding on the horse of the Word of God. So then I'll put it up on the wall later. I'm going to put it up right there. Spectacular, many thanks. Spectacular present. I'd like to announce today another baptism in the name of Yeshua during the week. You who are members of the Eternal Truth, in the official Facebook group, you have seen the spectacular pictures. Juan Luis Ramos Beltran, pardon me, was baptized in the name of Yeshua in a place that's called Potrero Redondo, a touristic place within the Santiago Sierra, Nuevo Leon, Mexico, a place that's precious, spectacular, of difficult access, complicated and dangerous access, but once you get there, it's kind of like a small fountain of water and some cataracts. Spectacular. It's a paradise. Magnificent. The best place is not the place, but the baptism of Juan Luis. Juan Luis, welcome to the Eternal Truth. I know that it's been time that you've already been studying with us, but you still needed to take the step of baptism because it's very important. Why is it so important? We don't understand why. It's the symbols that we don't give too much importance into. But Yeshua said that we should get baptized in his name. So then, if you are a part of the eternal truth, that you listen to us and you're new, and you've never taken that step, it's the best thing you can do to get baptized in the name of Yeshua. That was the command that he gave, to get baptized in the name of Yeshua. I could tell you that it means your death. I could tell you so many things, but that doesn't matter. Look, the thing is that he said, if you want to be my disciples, get baptized in my name. In my point of view, which is already a motive, but very different to all the rest of what you've ever heard, that is the death. It represents death. That you get baptized in the death of Yeshua, that it also represents your death, that you're new man. None of that. What it basically represents, because it's been given first to the Jews that believed in Moses and the Torah, was a change of a God. A change of God. Of the God of the Torah, he died. And that is why he makes them get baptized in the name of Yeshua and not in the name of Yahweh. Because some of you asked me, should we get baptized in the name of Yahweh? No. That would be something that you're making up. That, of course, you hear me talk about that for us. We only have one Elohim, so then we want to get baptized in the name of Yahweh. No. No. Because you get baptized in the name of Yahweh, then the Jews would have no problem with that. No problem with that, the Jews to get baptized in the name of Yahweh. In fact, John the Baptist, he would baptize a whole bunch of people. I'm sure he baptized them in the name of Yahweh. Who knows what he baptized under? But for a Jew that has the Torah, that believes in Yahweh, that believes in Moses, for me to tell him you have to get baptized in the name of someone else, is no, hold on, no, not that. That's why it's so important. It's like you are breaking away from the Tanakh of saying, okay, up until here, but from here on out, I get baptized in the name of the one that came to earth. The one that came is Yahweh, but he didn't present himself as Yahweh. He presented himself as Yeshua. So then, in order for me to accept Yahweh, I have to accept in the form that he chose to present himself to the human being. So then, of course, it's very easy to say, I accept Yahweh. And if you don't accept Yeshua, then you don't accept Yahweh. Because he says, the one that does not accept the Son does not accept the Father. Just like that, of course. You have to accept the Son in the form that he presents himself in order to accept the Father. Once you comprehend that it's the same person, it's very easy. It's harder to accept them once you comprehend that it's two different people. It's very difficult, because if you're a Jew, you have only one God, and they said, this is the Son of God. No, God doesn't have a son. So then we are stuck there. We're not going anywhere. But if he decides that not to get baptized in the name of Yeshua, he's changing his God. It's not the dead. He is changing to a new God. From getting baptized to the Torah, because the Jews get baptized all the time. Mitzvah. It's called mitzvah. They get, when they have to get a purification, they get baptized. Whenever they want to, they get baptized. So then, just to do it in the name of Yeshua, they don't even want to mention Yeshua. You get baptized in the name of Yeshua, that is something that is really, that goes against all their beliefs. Well, that's what Yeshua told them for his disciples to do. First of all, start to get baptized in my name. In my name. In my name. But Lord, we believe, get baptized in my name. If not, then you have no part with me. So then, that rule gets up until today. We accept Yeshua. Yeshua is Yahweh that came to earth in the form of the Son of God, in the form of a human being, when he was Yahweh himself, but he had a different form. So then, those who want to join this group, there's no other way of joining this group, and you cannot join this group if you don't start with the most basic part, by the milk itself, by the foundation itself of accepting who Yeshua is. We get baptized in the name of Yeshua, knowing that he is Yahweh himself. But that no, we get baptized in the name that he says. Why? To demonstrate that Yahweh in the Torah, the old one, is no longer. We switched gods. Believe it or not, believe it or not, when you change the law, everything changes. So then it goes way past that. You die, it goes way past that. It's saying, I accept Yeshua, period. And if you understand that Yeshua is Yahweh, bingo, entire bingo. So then all of you that are listening to me that have not been baptized, you do not need anyone to baptize you. No one. You can go to a place, to a creek, to a river, to the sea, on a bathtub, and a place where there's enough water to submerge yourself, and you say, I, this person, accept Yahweh, Ekhad, for example, and I get baptized in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, like he called himself, or of Yeshua only, either way. It's not important to say HaMashiach, Yeshua. I get baptized in the name of Yeshua, knowing that he's Yahweh, and you get baptized. That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't need someone to baptize you. You don't need anything. If there's someone that can baptize you and you like that ceremony like that, perfect. It is better for the picture, better for the video, better for everything. Also, you don't need a place that is a paradise like the ones we saw in the picture where Juan Luis got baptized. We don't need that either. It's spectacular. But if you don't have an access to a prettier place, you can go to an uglier place. No problem. Any place. The thing is to get baptized under the name of Yeshua. Very well. So then welcome Juan Luis Ramos. The LVE ring. All those which I wrote to, no one else that I haven't wrote to them, pay attention. All those of you which I have wrote to, which I sent the ring to, and I did not give you a number which I didn't know it wasn't a receipt, but there is a number, a tracking is what you call tracking in English, which is not really a tracking number because it's a number also just for claims. If I didn't give it to you and I let you know, I want to repeat you. I don't want you to write. I'm going to insult you if you write to me. You sent it to me. There's no one that I sent the ring and I didn't write to. Starting with that, because I know you. Maybe you sent it to me. I'm going to write to him. Did you send it to me? Could you give me? No. When I send the ring, I write to the person that same day. Your ring just went to this country. Perfect. So then all of you which have received that spectacular news on my behalf, if I did not give you the tracking number, which is not just a tracking number, but something else, write to me, because the first one I didn't know that that number was there. Then later, the rest of them I did give them to, but the first ones I'm doubting. The first one, if you didn't get a number, that number, write to me and you tell me, and don't call me Brother Christian. I tell you because so many people, so many letters, Brother Christian, I'm listening to you. Of course, if I sent you the ring, you're way past than being a brother, even though we are brethren, but I don't like that word. Okay, taking that out. If I sent you the ring and I wrote to you and I didn't give you a number, write to me. You didn't give me the number, give it to me. Why? Because, for example, to the Heyer lineage, they got it this week, like 50 days it took place. And to top it off, they were never going to receive it if they would not go to the post office. I know they were going to receive a note, but the Argentinian post office, son of a bitch, like it could be from any other country. But if they don't steal it, they're in the customs, because it's most likely that they'll steal it there in the customs office. If they don't steal it there in the customs office, what happens is that they send a letter to the address that shows up there. Let's see if it gets there, and it says you have a package. You have to come to claim it. If you don't claim it in 15 days, this package is sent back to the sender. So then, maybe you don't get that letter. That's what happens. Maybe they don't send it to you. So then if I sent you, that if you live in Argentina, in Chile, in Colombia, in all the places that I sent to, if I told you, if I sent you the ring, go to the post office with the number that I give you or that I will give you and say, there's a package here that has to get here. With that number, they can find it where it is. It's not a tracking, but they have a registry. So then say, oh, sometimes you have to pay. In Argentina, very little, but they had to pay. For what reason? Because they're thieves. What do you mean they have to pay for something that I sent? And what they charge me, the U.S. gives Argentina a play so that Argentina to take it. Obviously, no, we have to pay. We have to pay. Okay, even if they have to pay, it doesn't matter if they have to pay, just pay it. But the thing is that they have to go and claim it because most of the rings have not arrived, just like that. 80% or 90% of the rings have not arrived. And I don't know if more. Very few have arrived. We have sent more than 60 rings. How many have arrived? 5 or 6 that have shown pictures, no one else. Very little. That makes me doubt if I should send, but they don't get there, the rings. But go to the post office with the number and claim it. No one write to me that I haven't written to you. With the news that I sent you the ring, there's so many rings waiting, way too many, more than 100. Because the guy's going to take his time to make it. He said it's going to take 2 months. Forget it. That doesn't matter. Whatever it happens that is outside our hands. When I receive the ring immediately, I go to the post office and I write to you, to whom I sent it to. So then don't worry, except for that I have sent it to you and you didn't receive it, you have to go and claim it. With that number, you write to me, and I will give you the number. Very well. Spectacular. Sometimes you have to fill a form. What do you have to write there? First of all, that it's a present. You didn't buy anything, it's a present. Because that is how I declared it. It's a present. That first of all. Second of all, depends on the ring. I gave it a value of $2 plus also a card, $3 a card. It's just a nominal value because they can go fuck themselves, the government, Babylon, customs, and all the rest. So then I give it a nominal value so as to not put zero. If there's 2 or 3 rings, it could be, I don't know, $6, $8, $10 a value. So then if they ask you, what does it have? Because that's what they asked also. Gabriel Heyer, they said it's got a metal ring. Don't say a ring, a metal ring, which is a present, a souvenir. Something they're giving me as a present. It's a promotion. I don't know. That's what it is. A metal ring. Don't be specific. It's a metal ring. That's it. Which is worth, they said, it's worth $5. That's all you have to put down and declare. That it's a present and you're not paying for anything. Did you understand me, right? For all of you, yes, we understood, yes. We understood well. If they understand, then the rest understand. It's how I measure things. Might it be? Leslie says, are you sure? Okay, ready, perfect. Very well. The one in the post office, a lot of hope it doesn't give me the post office. There's an Oriental that I believe he's Philippine. He says, no, when I was in the Philippines, they would steal everything. If you send food, nothing would get there. If you send shoes, or however you call them, pumps, champions in Uruguay, for Fernando, champions in Uruguay, pumps in Argentina, tennis shoes for you guys. And they said that you had to send one. First they would send one, the left, and when that one would get there, they would send the other one because they would steal. If you send both, they would steal them. Who's going to steal one? So they would send one. When they would get there, they would send the other. And always, there's problems in every country except in the U.S. The U.S. is the only place that doesn't steal anything. At least in that, it's true. I want to tell you, if you send me something, the customs here is quickly, they check things, they open things, because when they get here, they open things. But they see, and they seal it back, and they send it. They don't have any drama, they don't steal anything. And you say, what a difference is there between the American country, and I'm referring to the countrymen and all that, to the governors. One is the camera, in that they're most honest. The Latin people, they steal in whatever they can, and even in what they can't. Or else just ask how many people give tithes. That's how you see. Exactly. The ring is worth $200 since we're Latins. We say that it's worth $2 because it's worth more than $200 because the value that it has there, you could not even calculate it. Just for us to touch it, it's worth a lot more than that. Our time in the post office that it takes like 15, 20 minutes every single envelope that they hate me when they see me already. They see me come in and they all say, oh, call the manager, because here they're going to hold us up. The post office is going to close at 5 p.m. and we ended at 6 p.m. They said, please don't ever come here 1 hour prior. Come in the morning. I'll say, I'll come when I can. They had closed everything. They closed everything with, like, they put down the iron gate, and I was still giving envelopes. They were looking at me. No, you're gonna, until I send the very last one. It's very difficult. So then, actually, the ring is a lot more valuable if you paid or how you paid. Don't even ask me. Don't even ask me. With Leslie, we're always saying, what did we get into? What a problem did we get ourselves into? And aside from that, the work of doing the details that Leslie does, that she writes everything, such a work. Wow. So then the ring has a nominal value of $200, which is a donation for the ministry. You're not even paying for shit. It's a donation for the ministry. But I'm saying on there because the least thing is to make you pay taxes, because I could say $200 on there. But the only thing is that it's going to cost us for your government to charge taxes on you, and there is more temptation for them to steal it. The guy in the post office said, in other countries what they do, because there was a Mexican guy there, he was telling me, I sent this and that and it doesn't arrive. In Mexico, if it get there, you're very lucky. And if not, in Mexico, they see something that they like and they change it. They say, well, how could that be? Some guy came in, he sent me a good watch, and he got a plastic one. They changed it. And Viva Mexico, and don't even mention Colombia or any other country. The thing is that in the customs office is a place where they have 100% control. If it gets lost, it gets lost, and there's no way of complaining. If they say this is illegal, they just throw it away. There's no way of complaining. It is the owner and Lord, the customs officer. We are at their disposal for them not to steal anything, for them to switch anything. That is the problem. Very well. We're in the hands of Elohim. If they want them to steal everything, then blame Elohim. Obviously, I always blame him. No any problem. If a ring gets lost, it's him. If it's missing, it's him. If they swap it, it's him. And everything in life that happens, it's him. Why? Because they could do things better. If I was in charge from above and I want for the rings to get there, I make them get there. Some thief from the customer says, I'm going to steal it. Right there, I change his mentality like Yeshua can do, absolutely. Like in the war of like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, and the two of the Imperials came guards and they couldn't enter. The other one looked at him and he used the Force. And the guard said, papers? Yeah, okay, go ahead. And that's the way it is. Yahweh has that power, absolutely. The devil gets into them like Judas. Judas didn't want to sell him. So then if the devil does not get into every customs agent, or if the post office steals it, the one to blame is the one person, the one that sends the devil right here, as you represent Eddie handling the devil. So then if the ring does not arrive, there is another possibility that you are so awful that you gave me the address so wrong. Wow, with that is not, I cannot console. You don't know where the fuck you live. I can't believe it. I'm still giving you a lesson. I don't want you to give me an address like this. I live in don't say the street. Don't say street. I can't say, I'm telling you, I live in this street, this and that. I live in the house of San Martin. So then I want to write to you. I'm training you because, wow, you're going to be kings. You don't know how to write a fucking address. I don't understand. It just can't. I'm not going to send shit. It's $2,000 worth. For those people, it's worth $2,000. because they're useless. When I tell you, give me the address, don't write to me the fucking street. Just the name of the street. Not I live. Let's suppose that I live in San Martin, 311. No, San Martin 666. On the field. No. Okay, let's tone it down. With the devil lost in the city of the bitch that bore you. So then how I write that? I don't want you to write street San Martin, and if you write a comma here, in your sister's cunt, and the other one is the bitch that bore you town, everything together. I don't want that. I have to use my best will. Fucking shit. I have to use my best will and I get upset because you deserve it. There's no other way. Who the fuck will tell you? Who the fuck will ever tell you? If I don't tell you, you don't learn the excellence. You don't want to listen to me anymore, then don't ever listen to me again. But the excellence is learned. Your mom didn't teach you. Excellence is learned. An address you have to know how to write it, because or else you don't deserve a fucking ring. You don't. So then how do you want me to teach you an address? You don't write it all in one line. You don't write it on one line. You make me crazy. An address is written the way that you put it in the envelope. If I ask you for the address, I want you to write it like this. Like I always teach you. Like I teach you to write. If it's called Calle San Martin, don't say Calle San Martin. Put San Martin. Don't put San Martin number 311. It's San Martin 311. You just need the number. Didn't the teacher teach you? Don't say street. They put street. San Martin. Let's say that they wrote the accent mark. Number. They write number. Who the fuck? Obviously, the number comes there. It's obvious what's going to come, a banana. The number's going to come there. How do I make you understand this? You don't know how to write an address and you want to be kings of the world. I'm always asking myself, wow, maybe I'm wrong. I should close the ministry because you don't know how to write a fucking address. You don't know how to write a fucking address. How are you going to teach? How are you going to teach anyone excellence if you don't know where the fuck you live? Because they say the street, San Martin, number, everything together, and then they put the country. If you have a zip code, they don't know what the fuck a zip code. They've never heard. I understand that in some places in the world there's no zip code. But you know what I have to do? Look what I have to do, and I tell it to you, and I get so upset. If I don't tell you, I'll get a DHS right now. I have to look up in Google what you gave me. And to give or take, I find the city and the street. Then I look, some business. Look at what I have to do for you. I look for a business. That is in that city that you say that exists. And I look for a business. And I get that business. And the business, I go to their website. If they have it, I look it up. And then I see this and this written the way I written. With the zip code, I copy that. Because if not, it'll ever arrive. Because you don't know where the fuck you live. Where the fuck you live. I mean, you are just nowhere in the world. Well, look what I have to do for you. What I have to order something here in the U.S. and then they tell me name. I have to give my name, address. If I don't place it correctly, it doesn't arrive. It won't arrive. I have to fill the things up when they're all the squares are well. Then it's a good address. It's not a place that I have to fill. But please give me the address well. Never again any of you say. Put everything in one line. Don't put it all in one line. You drive me crazy. I don't know where to cut off. And an envelope, and you give me the address, and I write it like this. It won't be enough. Where the fuck where do I cut off? Where's the cutoff? If you don't learn that with me, you want to learn the Bible, you have to learn a lot more things aside from the Bible. How are you going to understand the Bible if you haven't understood first what a chapter, a verse is, and all the rest? All because you do things like ass. So then in one envelope and one line, and don't say that I know that your name is like that. You put name, 2 points. Wow. and we got the light. Let's suppose I'm buying your ring and I'm an idiot like you, so then I put name Cristian Silva. Address, I live in San Martin 666, and then I say, I live in the USA. Where else do I live? I live in Riverside. Yeah, in Riverside. Well, the thing is that since I already know, that would be more acceptable. But you mix so many things. You put this ghetto. Who the fuck cares about the ghetto? Who the fuck cares about the ghetto? Why do I tell you? Because I look up in other businesses there and they don't say ghetto. Ghetto of the flowers. Nobody puts ghetto the flowers. They put the name of the fucking city. What do you mean the ghetto the flowers? Wow. I mean, not to mention it. Pass the floor tea for me, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that these people that are pretty simple, they should go to their post office and ask for their address.
Exactly. First thing, they have to say, I'm an ignorant fool. That's the first thing you gotta say. Pardon my ignorance. Exactly. So then go to the post office and say, I live this 3 between the fire station and the police station.
And one more thing that I wanted to remind you of, and also put my 2 cents in, is for them to not go to the jewelry.
I want to make this. I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna get to that point. Keep it there. Hold it there. Okay. So then, the address is written. Like, if your name is so and so, put so and so. My name is so and so, and don't write anything next to the name. And don't write name. I know that your name is so and so. So and so idiot. So and so idiot. Such an idiot. And with a caps lock. Below that, what are we gonna put below that? No, I mean we're. It's enough to cry. It's enough. Don't laugh. Start to cry, all of you.
I mean, they don't even know how to write their address, how it goes on the envelope.
That is what I'm explaining. That's what I'm explaining, Les. This is an envelope. So then imagine that you're giving me to write in an envelope or in a label or where something that a sticker. So below that is the street, not the city, not anything. Is the street, and not with the name street, unless it's called street. It's called street. But if your street is called envergadura, let's say envergadura. Don't say street envergadura. Don't say unless it's called an avenue. It changes there. Envergadura 666. If there's a number, don't write down number 666. Don't. It's as a retard. I know it's gonna be envergadura 666. It's not enough for you to say envergadura number 666. No, or else what the fuck is that? Chocolate? What the fuck is that gonna be? It's the number. That's the way it is. It's so simple. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's like if what's your name? My first name is Christian and my last name is Silva. I didn't ask you. Just tell me what's your name, Christian Silva. That is what you do. Envergadura 666. If there is an apartment number, if let's suppose in the same line it could be, so then apartment, or however you can abbreviate it, apartment 7. Very well. Below that, below that, below that, it's only and nothing more than the city. I don't want a ghetto. I want the city where you live in. If you live in Bogota, you put Bogota. For example, Bogota. If you live in a city that's called Santa Lucia, Bogota, which Bogota, suppose, let's say that Bogota, look at what I want to teach you. Just first grade things. If Bogota is, I'm telling you because you drove me crazy. So then it's my nerves, got to my nerves. Bogota, it's supposed is the state. Don't ever put the state first. Never again. Never again put the state first. Put the fucking city first of all. Number, name, number, city. I don't care about your fucking post office, how it is of ignorant fools in your country. Put the name. Number. If there's an apartment, all in one line. Below that, city. The city. And don't say city so and so. I don't want you to put just the name of your city. And then let's suppose that is Bogota. Let's suppose that the province or the state, however you want to call it, it's called, I don't know, Valencia. City is a city, a state is something else. Valencia. Let's say it's Valencia is the state or the province. Let's suppose state or province. Or department, if they call it. Exactly. I only need the city and the department. Department or province. And then after that, if you have a zip code, add it there. Zip code. And don't write zip code, that's crazy. It doesn't enter anywhere. Just put CP if you want to write anything, or in parentheses. All the people that do about post office, they know that it's a zip code. You don't have to say, this is the zip code. So then the guy in the zip code, oh, good thing he wrote down zip code here, because I would never know what the zip code was. No, a guy that works in that's what he's working in. The addresses reduced perfectly well. I want to ask you, and all of you know, and I embarrass you. I have to ask you, like an idiot. I don't know. The way I think it is, because there's no commas, nothing, just like that. So then I fix it for you. Is this fine? Is this fine? Nah, yeah, but no, just do it like this. Why? How am I gonna fix it for you of your house? The address of your house. This cannot be. It cannot be. But you get me so pissed because of the ignorance, and you think you know everything. That you're the Mashiach. You think you're the Christ. You think you're the Son of Man. You're all sons of bitches, ignorant fools. You don't know how to write a fucking address. So then I'll repeat this again for all of you. Those who went to the first grade class or not, first of all, name. And don't write name, just your name. Below that, where you live, the street. Don't write street, but the name of the street and the number. Put the number. San Martin 666. If there's an apartment, then add it, apartment. The post office understands, even if you they just put the number like this. Post office understands it just with the number. They understand, aside from the address, it's a subdivision. Okay? Very well. Below that, we're going to add city. Don't put anything else, just the city. Next to that, the state or the province or the subdivision that you have. And below that, the zip code and the country, nothing else. Just that's the way I want. And that's why I want you to send it to me. So then it'll be so nice. Some of you, I congratulate. Some of you. Just with my hands, I can count. I would say two. With one hand, that had given it to me like this, and all I had to do is copy, paste. Wow, glory, hallelujah. But the rest of you, I had to be asking, are you sure you live here? Looking like an idiot, looking up in Google, looking up businesses. Wow, brutal. I don't want to see this anymore. I'm going to delete it. What was next? Oh, yes, I remembered. The measuring. Okay, that's where I'm getting at. Yes, a silence. Yes, of course. Yes. Go to the post office and ask them, look, I'm an ignorant fool. I live in this ranch over here. I don't even know what my address is. How do I know what my address is? Because I need to receive something, for example.
I think that would be the most correct way to do it because, we're not just going to be guessing here.
Exactly. The most problem thing is that they misunderstood everything. I know that I speak and I just waste my time and my words like anything. In pólvora en chimango, like my mom would say. Okay, here goes another one about the ring because you drive me crazy. I wouldn't want you to give me a number that is not a number in the American scale. This jeweler does not care about anything. I'm not going to complicate things for him. To top it off, he takes so long to make him. He has many other things to do. Says, no, yours are going to be 2 months. To top it off, I'm going to take him. The guy says that he has number 22.5 millimeters. What is that? The guy's going to say, you know what, turn around. Just turn around. Turn around. And he's going to kick me in the ass, and I'm going to fly here. So then, you want the ring? You have to give me in the USA system, United States of America. And the scale goes from 5. I'm going to say, we can't get any less than 5. From 5 to the maximum is Guillermo Heyer, 15.5. It would enter here a little bit here. So then there it is. Guillermo, nobody has a bigger one than his. And from 5, that is almost for a child. And for a very thin women are from 6.5 to 10, I'm going to say. In certain occasion, women have a little bit more, 11, 12, depending about the bone. But generally, generally speaking, from 6.5 to because they're bloated. 6.5 to 10 women. These are medium. 5, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. There's women that are bigger than that. Now men, when some say I'm a man and I want a 9, I'm already suspecting that they messed up, because the men start with 10 and they go up until Guillermo. Until Guillermo. Giant size. This is not the normal. This normal is not this. It's between 10 and 13, I'm going to say. From 10 and 13. Me, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5. That is normal for a man. For example, my fingers, my hand is big. They're not small. And I use 11, 12, and 13. And even 14 I could use, for example, this ring. Look at how a ring has to be. If it's big, it's big. But it should not come out for you, even if I shake my hand. Like this hand. Like, for me to take it out, I have to twist it. I have to twist my hand. And this one is 11.5. This is an 11.5. So then when I place the ring, it has to be snug. That's why it's not good, not even to use the paper like online, and then to measure it on a ruler and then look on a scale and say, I am a 9. Some of you say, I'm a 12. And it has nothing to do with that. This ring is a 14. It's a 14. I can use it only in this finger. This is a 14. So then in this ring, it's perfect. Look, there it is, perfect. That's Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, Ekhad. This one is a 12, and this one is a little loose. It should not be like this. The thing is that this one is better here, but it's occupied with the one of the lion. Here, it's well. Perfect. Snug the way it should enter. Here, it is well. And this one is kind of loose. Because look, like this, you cannot be washing your hands and for it to fall. And the least is that you lose it and you didn't even notice. Wow. It has to be snug. Don't say, oh, it's going to cut my circulation. No, it has to be snug. It has to be snug. This one's kind of loose. I know that I could go like this. It doesn't fall off, but at some point in time, look here, it's coming. If I go like this, it's so much, it starts, and it's already, just a little bit more, and it's on its way out. It's just loose. It doesn't go here. But just to preach, it's well. Just to speak as well. To insult you, it's well. Okay. It goes here. My line goes here. Okay. So then, what do you have to do to measure with a little piece of paper with a thread? No, none of that is good. It's no good. And the programs, some of you gave me some programs in the cell phone, and that you put a ring under it and it measures it. I measured mine. It measured whatever. I said, this is dog shit. Go to a jeweler. It says, no, because the jeweler, he wants to sell me something. You have to go with the air as if you're going to buy something. What do you mean you're going to go to a jeweler to say, I want to buy a ring online and I want for you for free to measure me and to tell me in the American system? It says turnaround. Of course they're going to say that, but of course, what do you have to do? But use your head. You go say, I'm looking for a ring. Let's say that's pretty. Okay, not so expensive. You can try some. This kind of big. What number is this? What number is this? So then the guy is gonna say, but you gotta go there with an air as if you're gonna buy, not to ask. Can you tell me what measuring? It says, can you turn this one? I can, my dear. It says, can you show me this? Tell me, because otherwise. And right to me, it says, I went to all the jewelers. No one wants to measure me. Some people have written to me, and so I found one that did it. I was laughing my ass off. You have to go to the jeweler and say, I want to buy a ring because it's the truth. I want to buy a ring. I'm looking, how pretty. It says, this one, no, this is too expensive. No, I want something more, not so expensive. Of course, let's see how this one, look at him. What about this one? What number is this? You can ask him. Because if he gives it to you in millimeters, you can ask him, what about in an American, like a conversation, just a conversation? Because aside from this, I don't know. I had another one that was a 13 or 12. You can use your words. So then if the ring, it says, no, I didn't like this. It's not snug. I'm going to still look, but I like that one. What number was it? So then the guy says, you can ask him, what number would be perfect? That one, that one here. So then the guy says, that one, I don't have it precisely in the size that you have, for example. It says, okay, well, because I like to buy it, but I'm gonna think, maybe you really want to buy it or not. You're talking about cheap rings. Don't talk about diamonds and gold ones. They sell cheaper rings. Cheap rings. You can even buy yourself one. What's the problem? But that's how you conversate. Don't be such idiots. Some of you write to me, he didn't want to measure me. Oh, I have to teach you everything. I have to teach you. I don't understand. Patience. Yes, patience. Yes. Just relax, Miguel. Patience. So then, the other option is, it is very cheap to buy you ring measure. Some are really cheap, but don't tell me that you don't have 1 cent. There are things that are $1. That it's a plastic measuring thing. It won't work for Guillermo. It only gets to 13. It won't help him because it only gets to 13. It's only $1. No, but $1 in the U.S. Then buy it. What if it's good? So then they have all the measurings, and you can has all the sizes for your children, for you, for whomever, and it's good. So then you could try it. Aside from that, what ring are you going to use it? It's nice for it to be at least in 2 fingers, in the ring finger, and in the middle finger. This one. Try for both. This one it's good, and this one's good. If you're married and you already have a ring there, don't use it in the same finger. Use it in a different one, in the left one, in the right one. You can switch it up. If it's a little bigger, it's better. Then you can use a different finger that's more snug, or you can adjust it the way I tell you with something. You can adjust it. So then you already know. how you have to take the measure. It has to be American. An American measure. Americans don't do it yourself because it doesn't work. Women are between 6.5 to 10. Most common is 7. Most common is 7. And men are between 10 to 13. The most common is 11 and 12. Most common for men with 11 and 12. If you don't know about anything, number 12 will help you even a little loose, but it's not that it won't enter. If it's a little looser, you put some things that they sell like tape inside and it'll be snug. So you run about anything, you have a finger kind of like mine, like this, like whatever, man. Not that you're some guy that has fingers, the little tiny fingers like this, or you have some huge fingers of Goliath. Of course, if you are give or take within what's normal, 12 is perfect. Oh, it's crazy, crazy. Aside from that, all of them, from Hayers, you drove me crazy. Drove me crazy. Crazy with the measurings, and you already know. Some of you bought a 9 and it was 12. And I'm always telling you, how many women asked me for a 13th, and I said, who measured you? What are you measuring? You have to measure your finger. It's like, no, that's what, it's my calculation. No, no, it was an 8. From 13 to 8 is a huge difference. Huge difference from 13 to 8. Wow, they drive me crazy. Ay, vey. And we're about to wrap it up here. Okay, so then, no, yes, because it's an instruction. It's an instruction. I want you to be excellent. I want you to give me a smile instead of me looking up in Google for you and then insulting half the world. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Very well. So then we've already spoken about the rings. We go to a different subject. Subject is that we offer a free service in charge of Angelina, the new Germanic medicine. I remind you, it's impressive. Most, unless Angelina corrects me, most people that are calling are not even from the eternal truth. And I like that. I like that because you, who know this already, that you refer to your father, your mom, to other kin, that's perfect. They don't have to be of the eternal truth. Most of the people that Angelina is helping now are aside from that, but they have the mark. We help people that are marked twice over, no problem. Exactly. So then it's very well. Remember that. Don't, not just for you, but also for all those who would like to be recommended to. We have a free service in charge of Angelina, Angelina's consult. Very well. And later, if you want to donate to Angelina, you can let me know. Let me know. Make it in my name in the LVE accounts, regular ones, and you tell me this for Angelina, and I thank you very much for those who have the heart to donate some to her for the work, the mega marvelous work that she's doing. Okay. There's no more need to speak about the 1290 or anything like that, or 1335. Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh, one is. One that comes now and says, okay, who wrote this? It's like codes. No, this one's from the ring. It was like this is from the ring. There's no need. Okay, very well. Yahweh is only one. Yahweh is only one. There's no any being. We deserve a like. Exactly. The instruction now, we deserve, you can't give us a heart, but we deserve a great like, and that is true. Or else we stop here and we go and celebrate our birthday. You can't imagine 235 likes. You cannot imagine the other instructions later. When the time comes and that we are united, don't think that we are not even prepared for the work that we have to do. We could understand, we could accept what the truth is, but prepared to really be valuable, it takes time and a strong instruction time. So then you better get used to get insulted in the humiliations, because it's precisely part of the learning curve, part of the learning. If you're an ignorant fool, the only one to blame is yours. If you didn't go to school, you're the only one to blame, because you're older, and then later you could have gone to school. I know how people, as adults, went to night school and they learned to write and they learned other languages. No, the only one to blame about ignorance is ours. We are the ones to blame. If I don't know anything else, I'm the only one to blame. It's easy to say, no, because my father's, no, because where I was born, not because my country. No, 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 no. In all the countries of the world, there's excellent education in everyone. Excellent everything that is Latin America. Education, no one can say anything. If you want to learn in the language, every country from Mexico to Argentina, every one of them have an excellent education. Why do people don't want to learn? Because they could care less about learning. They don't care about learning. But the education is that, but of course. And the teachers are excellent and you can learn more, of course. So then we are the ones to blame. We have time to learn. In fact, like what was said by I forgot the name that I mentioned. I forgot the name, but he said something. He said, if from the 24 hours that you have in one day, 16 of those are not absolutely yours, and 8 more to do whatever you want, then you're a slave. What does that mean? If you work 8 hours a day outside, that's what you're a slave. That's what I've said. We are slaves. We're slaves because we work more than 8 hours sometimes. When I had to do those types of jobs, and even more than 8 hours to try to compensate for the money to get here. I don't understand anything, but we're still slaves because we don't have time for us. We don't have time to study. And the time that we do have, we dedicate it to watch something else, Netflix or movies, or to waste our time instead of learning other things, instead of perfecting oneself in something. I'm serious. The phone and everything, all that. We're the ones to blame, nothing else. It is our own fault. Very well. So then, where are we now? In Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh, one is, only one being. Since it's late, I'm not going to read anything except for Proverbs 25:2. Glory of Elohim is to conceal the word, yet it is the honor of the king to search out the word. The word is concealed, and if the word is concealed, it means that the word, no one understands it. But who could understand it? Those who are kings. So then, now, I'll continue on with the thought. Physically, mentally, socially, visually, and in wisdom and intelligence, we're not ready to reign during this time. But of course, we're barely dealing with our own problems. Talking about you. We barely even deal with our problems, the small or greater DHSs that we have. That is how we deal with them, that we're dragging, that we can't solve our own problems. How do we think about solving others' problems? If we can't even solve our own economy of our house, how are we going to solve it, the economies of the world? If Yahweh says, in the little you were faithful, I'll place you over many. But if in the few you're not faithful, I'm going to place you over many. Forget it. Just absolutely forget it. You understand what I'm saying? So then we're not yet ready. There has to be, and don't believe that there's going to be, like I've already told you before. The work is ours. Don't think that you're going to have the 7 spirits and then all of a sudden from being a complete jackass, you're going to be scholar wisdom entirely. Of course, you could be a complete faggot that doesn't kill a fly. I don't know, Conan will come from there. I don't know, or Terminator, a mixture between Conan and Terminator. Don't believe that that's going to happen. Something like that. No, absolutely not. The seven spirits are going to empower what we already have. So then we have to enter into being perfect judges. But of course, that is our job. Our job and the perfection thereof. That's why we're still here. And I know that we're going to be here. I can already see that we're going to be here longer because you need me to yell at you even much more effort, because the instruction has an effort. But if you don't put the effort in, then we're wasting our time. Perfection is the effort of every person. So then what did this guy say? If 3/4 of the day are not yours to do whatever you want, then you're a slave. But of course, and something else I heard is, which I liked a lot, I can't remember who said it, but I'm not saying it. Some guy that I loved, he said, and think about this, well, maybe I have to explain it to some of you. I'll have to explain it to you. It says as follows. It says, the key of your cell, the only one that has it is you. What a spectacular phrase. Yeah, we are enclosed and sometimes imprisoned, but the key of the cell in which we are is we own it. No one has it. Can you let me out? No, you let yourself out. You have the key. You let yourself out. What a spectacular phrase. The key of our own cell, we own it. But we're being imprisoned by what we feel, of our emotions, of our beliefs, of your mom, of our culture, of our way of thinking, of everything. We are prisoners. And who can free us? We're waiting for the liberator to free us. Who's the liberator? You. You are the liberator. You have the key of your cell, and you can step out into the light. Of course, with the tools that Hammer gave us, with the tools that the Eternal Truth gave us. Of course, you have a key to exit any cell. But if you're still imprisoned, it's your own fault. You can't blame anyone else. It's you. You don't get out of the cell. No, I can't. I don't want to. Because the key is had by us. What a spectacular phrase. The key of our cell, we own it. If we don't want to exit, it is only our fault and no one else. Don't tell me that that's not a spectacular phrase. As soon as I heard it, I said, wow, we own the key to our own cell. Of course, the Christians are waiting for the liberator. We're not waiting for any liberator. We know who the liberator is, who the Mashiach is. But we are in a cell. And from then on out until we get out, we're still going to be there. So then, unfortunately, that's the way it is. We go to Malachi 2:17. That 2:17 is getting here soon, because today we are in 122. 122. 2:17. It's almost a month. And what will happen in 2:17? The 1335 days will be up, and what will happen? Since from now, I'm telling you absolutely nothing, like always, but at least it excites me that something could happen. I mean, nothing ever happens, but it excites me to know that there is hope. That hope will die, like that son of a bitch of that grandfather Heinz Kissinger. I like to call him Heinz, the way his name, not Henry. Henry, go fuck yourself. Heinz Kissinger. I desire fervently that you enter into rest. I wish it's a decree, a law. Will it happen? I wish for it with my soul. But what will happen, actually, it is most likely that the guy will get to 101, 102, 105, 110 years old. And it's always anything that lets us down. I'm always ready for it. But I decree in my heart that Grandpa Heinz, rest from your works. Rest. You have 2 weeks, because the clock is going tick-tock. Go rest before you get to 100. Or at least exactly at 100, but don't get past 100. That is my desire, my decree. And for that on out, and same thing as 2:17. 2:17, Malachi says, "Ye have wearied Yahweh." When it gets wearied, I'll get wearied. Ye have wearied Yahweh. You have wearied, Christian, with the way you write your addresses. You have wearied, Christian, with the sizes of the rings you send them. I have 22 millimeters. What the fuck? Who the fuck cares about 22 millimeters? Tell me what your size is. And if not, then turn around. Ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, and ye say, in what have we wearied him? In what? Hold on. Because you're saying, why is Christian so upset? In what have we wearied him? Because I don't know how to write my address. Because I am such an ignorant fool. Because I don't want to, of course, because I want to exit my cell, because I don't know the size of my ring. Yes, ye have wearied Yahweh, in that you say, in what have we wearied him? In that you say, whomever that doth evil pleaseth Yahweh. That's true, completely. And in such he delighteth absolutely. Or else, where is the Elohim of justice? That's why we have here Mr. Dinosaur, baby Dinosaur, who's really pissed. Dinosaur is here, and Eddie is handling the devil. Because they're all in a protest when, and where is the Elohim of justice? When will we have to wait for the sentence that we've already seen? Very well. Invitational text. The third angel sounded, and from heaven fell a great star burning with fire, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. And the name of the star is wormwood. The third part of the waters turned to wormwood, and many men died because of those waters, because they became bitter. Who of you can dare to say what this could be? Here it is. If you say that it is like Little Red Riding Hood, it could be, because it hasn't been fulfilled. But what is this? If you say, I think it's Terminator, that comes with the Avengers and Spider-Man. Well, that's an interpretation because the role hasn't been opened. I want to try to make it more logical. What is this? You could say, well, a burning star, it's like an asteroid. What many people are waiting for. I remember when Gambetta was so contagious, and he contaminated me with that, the trumpets of Gambetta. And it was trumpets that were fake. But what did Gambetta say? That great star, and I also said it, that great star is an asteroid that will fall upon the earth. That, like that asteroid in New Mexico, that asteroid in the Gulf of Mexico, those asteroids that exterminated the dinosaurs, according to science, according to what science says, that burning star burning from heaven. So then what is it, an asteroid? Is that what the scripture says? We could interpret. And it would be valid interpretation because since it hasn't happened, we can say whatever stupid shit. Because precisely what it says here, it is not. These are symbols. So then what it says here, it is not. The thing is that sometimes the symbols, if they were all exactly the same, then it'd be easier to interpret and it would not be concealed. Here, there is symbology that you have to apply it based on many other things. And that, no, I'm not sure that it's not that. Well, what I'm going to tell you for now is that. I tell you that is a speculation because I don't have the certainty that it'll be so, but I believe that the most logical way in which my mind works and with what I already know, what we've advanced in, and with everything we've learned, that looks like it could be this. I'll read it again. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Now, the way I read it, could you interpret it? Have people added interpretations there? Because nobody's laughing now. Ha 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 ho ho ho. And now? What could that be? If you tell me what it is, if you tell me Little Red Riding Hood, that's fine. Maybe it is Little Red Riding Hood. Maybe it's Hulk Hogan, which jumps and falls like a star. They're looking at the lamp that is almost about to end, but that's fine. Here there are symbols. I'm going to read the key words. Fell from the star, from heaven, a great star, burning like a lamp, upon the fountains of waters. The star is called wormwood, and the third part became wormwood from the water, and many died because they were bitter. From whom? No one. The star is ours. No. Can't be that the star is ours. But if we fell from heaven, we fell from heaven, but we crashed upon the fountains of the waters. Yes, it could be they're bitter. The river is better. If they, no matter if they won with a penalty that was fake, they'll always be better. Always. The AI said that River is the best one in Argentina. AI is the beast, of course. So then, all the chickens from River, as they're called, gallinazos in Spanish, we already know. If they love them, if Boca wasn't going to win that, I mean, that's true. We just went to have fun there. It's a very fourth-class team. We don't have anything but that. No, we went. But for them to give them a penalty that was fake, no. So then, wormwood would be River. Better like that. Okay, taking that out, and I hope that the Cordoba teams. I talk about soccer because now the world is so boring that I watch soccer, but I think River Plate, and you know the River Plate is not Rio de la Plata. This is a disgrace. It's a disgrace in all the aspects. If some Argentinian that's idiot from River wanted to translate Rio de la Plata and said River Plate. River Plate is a plate. It's a plate. It's not silver. Plate. Plated. Silver covered. It could be golden plated and covered, but plate is not silver. Plate is a plate. So then it is the Plate River. If you want to say Rio de la Plata, you have to say the Silver River. Silver River or directly, like the Colorado River. You can say Silver River because the Colorado River, remember the Colorado would be like reddish. Colorado is red, you know that. It's not colorful, it's colored, it means red. Did you know that? He became Colorado, like blushing. Colorado means red. So then notice that the translation of Colorado River is not reddish river, but they respected the name in Spanish, Colorado River. How would they translate? How would they translate? Plata River, or Silver, or the Silver River. We do agree, right? But never River Plate. Plate is not silver, so then River Plate, it's a disgrace in all the aspects. No matter if they win, it's a disgrace. You should destroy the whole team, their field, everything, where it's flat, and to not leave anything. To leave just the chickens there, but just the name. And I believe they're playing against Talleres. I think that the Cordoba people, which I love all the teams from Cordoba, Talleres, anyone from Cordoba, I love. Keep going, Cordoba, and fuck up these guys. We'll see. We'll see. Why do I talk about soccer? Because there's nothing to talk about. When we're in the midst of the plagues, what are we going to talk about? Talk about the little that there is left here. The little that is left here. So then, some said that it was Babylon, the star. If it's Babylon, the star falls from heaven. Those guys are really getting hotter. Exactly. Why Babylon? Why Babylon? It's not the same phrase of how you fell from heaven, Lucifer. Oh. What is Lucifer? The lamp. I was talking about soccer, about the chickens. The chickens told me, nah. No, don't even talk about it because they're embarrassing you. It was 1-0. But the goal that was fake at this last second of the game, that only the chicken saw it. Oh, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. No, it wasn't. So then in the last minute, no, don't even show yourself there. It's embarrassing. I mean, always stealing, but it doesn't matter. Either way, we love them either way. Don't say who's from River. It's Rio. It's the river of the silver. It's an American says if River Plate comes to play here, that is a plate. A plate. It's already laughable. A dish, a plate, a dish, a plate. A chicken plate. Chicken dish. Okay, moving on. Where are we here? The expression fell from heaven a star burning like a lamp. This is equal in poem as to say, how did you fall from heaven, O Lucifer? Why, it's the same expression. How they fell from heaven. A lamp is a light bearer. This could say that when that said is Babylon, it's perfect. It is Babylon. In my interpretation, Babylon fell from heaven. Lucifer, a great star fell from heaven. Lucifer, burning like a lamp. Why? Lucifer means light bearer. The word itself tells it to you. Light bearer. So then we're talking about the very same expression of how you fell from heaven, O Lucifer. And who's the one who fell from heaven? Israel. And we're moving on. Since we're in the text, moving on. Maybe we're talking only about this during this subject and not anymore. How art you fall from heaven, Lucifer? It's the same thing as to say, and from heaven fell a great star burning like a lamp. Why like a lamp? Because they're in code. That's how these names are. They're in code. Who was the lamp bearer? Israel. Yahweh said, I placed you as the light of the nations. If I placed you as the light of the nations, and I placed you in power, obviously, that was to bear the light upon the people. So when they fall, Israel becomes Babylon. But of course, so then Babylon, when they fall, will fall like a lamp falling. How art you falling from heaven, O lamp? How art you fall from heaven, Lucifer, and fell upon the third part of the rivers? how do I interpret that the rivers? Because we have the seas. The second plague fell in the sea, and this one falls in the rivers. The sea, we could understand the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues. We could understand the goyim. Do we understand now? The goyim are salt waters that you cannot even drink. They're unclean to drink. We could call it like that, just a crazy interpretation. This is all speculative, but pretty close to reality. So then the sea, we could say that is the world entirely, except for Israel. Who are the rivers, the sweet water that had to feed the world? Well, Israel, through the written word, the Torah, and all the rest. That's the only light there is in the world. So then, but notice the other detail upon the fountains of the waters. Who is the fountains of the waters? The fountains of the water, in its best expression, is Yahweh, because it's the fountain of all waters. He says, I'm the fountain of waters. The one that drinks of this fountain will never thirst again. Okay. But we have to take it not unto Yahweh, but rather unto what Yahweh created on earth. So then who is the fountain of the waters, spiritually speaking, on the earth on this 6,000 years? Israel. We go back to Israel, because that was the chosen people. In order to deposit its scripture, his laws, even if they've been canceled with the death of Yahweh, of course you understand that. There's no other chosen people that Yahweh gave instructions to, specific ones. So then the fountain of life unto the world is Israel. And he spreads it upon the rivers, and the rivers get to the sea, to the Goyim. Do you understand? If you see it with that vision, because these interpretations are, you have to look for the most crazy part, but logical as well. So then, notice that the power of Babylon, which is the lamp, falls now where? Upon the waters and upon the fountains. What it means is that the punishment starts upon Babylon. When I talk about Babylon, specifically speaking, is the one that guides it, which is Israel. But in turn, Israel is also diversified in all the world through the power. So then, what does this mean? That the punishment is already directed, this punishment that is, and to power, not entirely, because it says many men died, so then not all of them, none whatsoever. But a great punishment starts in Babylon. And I'll demonstrate this now when we move on, but starting with this today's subject. And that was just the invitational text. Is it logical what I'm telling you? Because you gotta look for logic in everything. I mean, if for you it's more logical that it's Little Red Riding Hood, that's fine. With me, I accept it and nothing happens. Because if you think that it's the big bad wolf and Little Red Riding Hood, that's fine for me. Seals, trumpets, and plagues, remember, just so that we remember, because when I affirm it, you'll understand it more naturally. There could not be 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 plagues. 21 separate punishments there could not be, because no people would exist. They would make no sense. So then, all this is a description with different cameras, with different secrets, different symbols, so as to unify one sole message. So then, the seals, trumpets, and plagues, it's the very same message, but divided into 3 to hide it, so that it is not understood except for those who can understand this, that precisely is Yeshua. Who is Yeshua? It is the salvation of the world, which is the chosen people, which is the bride. So then he can join them, gather them together, encrypt it into many things, and for the whole world it's different things. And if they could be different things, they'll never understand anything. So then when we're given that the rule, that the measuring rod says these 3 things, you have to place them all as the same. And you're going to choose, and you're going to understand certain little words, and they're going to make you come into reason, and you're going to understand that there's a lot of hay here. There's a lot of words that are extra, but you'll understand the secret, the encrypted message. So then, it's 7 punishments that they're not even so different one from another, but it's a stage of punishment, a transition unto the millennium, which we've already started. We're already in it. So then, it's 7 things that you have to discover them, and the secrets are in the seals, and the trumpets, and in the plagues. And they're not punishments that will destroy entirely humanity, but of course not. But they are punishments that are a lot more subtle and unpredictable, like the ones that we've lived already, like the cup of wine 19. Same thing. No one ever sees it as the first plague. If they don't see it as the first plague, even less as the first trumpet, first seal, so then they won't understand anything from here on out. But of course, the thing is that they don't even notice what the world suffers. Maybe the Christians would say, and when the seven plagues will be there, they're going to know. No, they don't know anything. They don't even know when it began. How are they going to know when it ends? They're going to find everything to be normal, everything normal like it is now. But the thing is that we're living now that I already call as concluded, not as fulfilled actually, fulfilled because the effect is still there of the first plague. Fulfilled, fulfilled. No one knows except for us. No one knows. If no one knows that, they also don't know about the next one. And the next one is, I'll read the first one, of course. Revelation, the first plague, first seal and first trumpet. Revelation 6, 1 through 2. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now we see it with such clarity that there's no need for me to say anything. But who else sees it? No one else. Just like that, no one else. And the word bow, to top it off, is toxin. Revelation 8, 7, in the first angel, I like how the likes went up. 291 likes, more likes than 291 likes, more likes than people watching. That is spectacular. Don't forget to comment also. Very well. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail, and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all green grass were burnt up. Let's go to the first plague. It says, And I heard a voice, a great voice that said from the temple unto the seven angels, Go and pour out upon the earth the seven vials of the wrath of God. And the first one went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there came a poisonous wound upon men that had the mark of the beast, and that worshipped its image. It's not the best translation. It would have been better. It was an evil and poisonous plague, an evil and poisoning wound. An evil and poisoning wound. We've seen this clearly so. So then the words, the key words here, I'll read them just like that. Just it's loose like that. A bow, a crown, toxin, conquering, white horse, to continue to conquer, hail, fire, mingled with blood or into the blood, the mark of the beast, a malignant and pernicious plague. All that together, we see this completely what has taken place from the year 2019. Absolutely. We're in the year 2023. But this happened in 2019. It started in 2019. We're in 2023. And oh well, that is what the plague would be. That's why I tell you. Might it be that we're going to be here longer? Maybe we'll be here longer. Doesn't matter whatever it might be. But we're already in the plagues. This is not going to stop. No matter if we don't study anymore in the Shabbat. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. We're already in the last straight, the final straight per se. This is already, I sound like Pharmakeia Palacios. We're in the final straight. Now it's true. Now it's true because once the plague started, the seals and the trumpets, There's no way of stopping them, nor do we want to stop them. And it could be that the first one was long, and now we get the other ones with trumpets that was shorter. That is just marvelous like that. And this time, I'm going to say something. No. If I say this, I'm always offend someone. I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm going to say anything. I'm going to shut up. It's not the best time. See, I'm already starting with my problems. Leslie, you should stop me. Then I repent. Yes, of course. So then I'll stop. But knowing that we're already in the plagues, because we're already in the plagues. One say, what insanity is that? Sam mentioned the plagues, the people running, grabbing their heads, all with malignant ulcers. Now we're in the plagues. We're already ending the first one. And I believe that the second one is already starting, and we'll see when it'll start. 217 will be there, and we'll go on with the second one and all the rest. But we're in a time that's special, but it's not a time. I'm not going to say anything. You put whatever here. It is not a time for. No. It's not a time for. Not that either. And it's not a time for even less. You fill in the blanks. You fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. It is a special time. It is a special time. So then now, since I didn't say what, they can. There's no problem. It was you said this. No. Don't ask me. They're already saying.
He says you're in contradiction with the one of your other message.
What contradiction? Tell me, because maybe you didn't understand something. What contradiction is there? I want to know what contradiction is there, because they see it as a contradiction, and I could explain it. I don't have any problem with you saying. Tell me which one. If you are in contradiction, I can't even explain what contradiction. What contradiction? If you tell me no, because you said last Shabbat that it was two, and you said that it's one, that would be a contradiction, right? Let me know if they write there. Okay, that's why I can explain it. So then, one of the things that I'm going to fill in the blanks, it is not a time like to learn fundamental times of doctrine for us, at least. Maybe for others it is, but not for us. It is not. Don't wait for some doctrinal revolution to come here, and we hadn't seen it before. No, we're already in punishment time. It means that the judgment has been issued. That's it. It's over. Absolutely, it's over. Very well. You contradicted your mother. Oh, yes, that I did. That I did. That I did. Miguel Angel, you're right. I contradicted his mother, of course. Okay. Now, if there's an actual contradiction, tell me. Very well. So then, we are living in special times. This is already ending. It could end from here up until 2, 4, 5 years. If the fig tree has 75 years, it could not be past the 80, because if not, the word of Yahweh breaks. So then, it could be that it's 5 more years. Yes, of course. Unfortunately, yes. But don't worry. We're already in the final time. There is no turning back. We're living the plagues. If that is in your mind, then you're going to be able to fill the blanks. It is not a time for. It is not a time. Okay. Here it is. Very well. We're going into the second seal trumpet plague. Second seal trumpet plague reads as follows. Revelation 6:3-4, Jerusalem 2001. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red. Keyword red. Like the star that River Plate has. Red. Red. Red is always blood. Blood. Because the chickens are always they slit their throats. I like the Peru, how they play and everything, because they try to imitate Argentina, and they're such great friends with Argentina. They haven't won anything, but they play well. They play well. They play soccer well, but they had never won anything. But the jersey they have is horrible. It's just like River Plate's. Two jerseys that you should burn up: Peru's and River Plate, because they're nasty. Because they're nasty. Mexico. I had an employee that gave me that one from Mexico, from Brazil, spectacular. But with the red, cross right here, I mean, they call me. You either wear that jersey or you become Trinitarian. Oh, come the Trinity. Give me the Trinity every day in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the way it is, of course. And then from then on out, I don't have any problem with wearing any other jersey. Absolutely. But less the River Plates, and that's what's pretty. What's pretty about soccer. If you were to give me, like, if you, no, the other one's just fighting. Here's me. And if you give me a jersey from River Plate, I'll keep it. And tell you the truth. Absolutely. Boca would not be so great if we didn't have River. You need that rivalry. We're brethren. They're brethren, actually. Oh, 1,000 times over. 1,000 times over. 1,000 times over. Anyone can become Argentinian, but one from Boca to become River Plate, that, give me hell. How long will it be? From one from Boca to become from River. Of course, they're brethren. They're brethren. But I could have their jersey, of course. I mean, we're brethren, but we're different. We're different. We're different. Okay. Moving on here. And where were we? A red horse. A red horse. Which means blood. Which means death. Which means everything that has to do with some sort of war in this case, right? To the one writing it was conceded to take away from the earth peace from the earth. And that part is very good, and it's kind of pretty out there. You can't. It's pretty naked out there. To take the peace from the earth, it means that humans start to feel anxiety. That could be that we are living now, but I don't think that we're still, the peace has been taken from the earth. If it says that it's been peace taken away from the earth along with the first plague when they concealed us all, that's where they took the peace from the earth, right? Are they putting things down on there? It's no problem. No, I'm gonna show it. I'm just playing. I'll keep it. I have the one from Mexico. I have the Johan. Johan gave me a real jersey that he owned. There's things that you have and you don't wear. You have them, of course, to see and to say, oh, poor thing, poor thing. It's like you put them up there. It's our rivals of Boca. There's no problem. No problem. We respect them. I respect them. There's no problem. You would, if I were to use, I needed a rag. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, poor thing. Something to, like something to. I mean, I would have them there. Of all them, I like soccer. I would have of all the clubs. I like them. Okay. No, don't take it so serious, because it's the rivalry of the lore of soccer. That doesn't take away that the River Plate jersey is ugly. It doesn't take away from there. But no, it's not part of the folklore of the soccer. Nothing else. Don't not get confused. No. Okay. So then, the phrase of taking the peace from the earth, that we have lived when they shut us all in, because they did take away our peace. Might that be that it's already started? I think that, well, you could place it there, but then later it follows that they would kill each other. We have yet to see that. So then, what are we waiting from this? Well, we're expecting for something to come where, again, the peace is taken away, or there's another war. Who knows? Something like that. I can't define it elsewhere. A war, there's a lot of. I was. The word slipped my mind. Lots of tribulation. I don't want to use that word. Not tribulation. Anxiety. Or that they don't know what is going on, just like what happened in the World Cup, maybe a little bit more. And a great sword was given to it. That sword means something that is a means to kill. So then, this could be that it is in complete fulfillment, or we still have to wait. Doesn't matter. Second trumpet. Revelation 8 through 9. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Good. Key words here. A great mountain. What is a great mountain? It is another example of something that is already written in the Bible, and I'm going to read it now. Burning with fire. A great mountain burning with fire, just like the star. It was cast into the sea. Where is this cast into the sea? What does the sea represent? It represents peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. But it doesn't specifically represent, but it could be all included, but doesn't represent Israel specifically. Do you understand? It represents the Goyim, all the rest, those that are not Israel. We have to see it that way to understand that this is given into the entire world, religious and non-religious. And the third part of the sea turned into blood. The third part, I don't pay much attention to this, but it's an interesting. I don't pay attention to this. For me, these are the things that Yahweh added just to confuse people. And the third part of the living beings that were in the sea died. If I have to take this as literal, it says that 1/3 of the people dies. I don't believe that. I always believe that it's just in proportion. Why? Because or else the rest of the punishments makes no sense. If 1/3 of the earth were to die now, that would produce a chaos that would last 50 years. 1/3 means not of the workers. 1/3 of all the professionals will have no more water, no light, no whatever is produced. You don't know what it is for one person out of every two to die. In order to replace that, the workforce that's specialized, this world stops. I mean, if that happens, this world will be 10 years. Why do we need any more punishment? There's no need. Just to submerge ourselves into terror here, into terror. So then, I personally do not believe in these percentages, and also when it says 1/3 or 1/4, or when it says that all the creatures in there died. So then this is just a filling that you have to take out. You have to know how to enter into this and to see the key words. That third part, that is not key. It's just vegetables that you have to separate to get to the meat. That is the vegetables, the hate that you have to open, because or else you go until I don't see 1/3 that this has not been fulfilled, and it isn't so. If I don't see that every creature in the sea doesn't die, it isn't so. It isn't so. If everything in the sea dies, literally, this earth will be, it won't be for any use, because if it died because of something in the sea, then we would all die. And if the sea means the humans, then the whole human race is dead. If we say the sea, which are the nations, then all the nations died. So then you see that is something that you have to not pay attention to. I want to make that clear, because or else you leave today thinking, and I talk about all the Adventists that always try to understand. No, don't take the percentages. They are the percentage is 1/3, the third part, and it was the third part of the sun, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. That is garbage. The percentages, do you understand, right? Why do I highlight it so much? Because we're going to the fourth plague. 1 second, we're in number 12. We're number 12. Let us go to let's just stay on number 2. Pardon me, number 2, the same. In number 2 itself, I'll demonstrate the point of what I'm saying. Revelation 16, in this same plague, It says, the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. How do we interpret sea? Literal sea? No. If it's the literal sea, the world entirely dies, because how am I going to say that every creature dies in the sea? It means that not just the fishes, plankton dies, the algae, everything that produces oxygen also that we need to live. And there's a poison in the sea strong enough to kill every living creature from 10,000 meters that they haven't even gotten to the bottom. What do they expect for us to happen here on Earth? A sure death immediately. So then, do not go and take the hint, or because of the fake, because this is garbage. What does it say? In the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. May it be literal or the people. And the same became in blood of a dead man. That's very interesting. I'm going to explain. And every living soul died in the sea. How many died? How many died? Okay, we don't need any more plagues, because the peoples are nations and tongues, and the second angel upon the peoples, upon the nations, upon the multitudes, upon all the people. And this one became in blood as that of a dead man, of every living being, every human individual. And every human being died who was within the peoples. We need more plagues after that? Nothing. Why do we need any more? Nothing was left there. Not even the parrot, as we say. I am so drastic to teach because I am logical. With an expression like that, then I noticed Yah was telling me, do not pay any attention to 1/3, 1/4, or all. Nothing. That doesn't matter. It's hey. It's just to confuse the people that don't understand. Pay attention to the keywords, not the percentages. That's it. It's over. I've already learned. So that 1/3, nah, it's garbage. The subject is about other words. Here's the second angel sounded, and like a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Very well. So then, let us go to Jeremiah 51:24 through 25. Let's go to Jeremiah 51:24 through 25. Reads as follows. And I will render unto Babylon, unto whom? Unto Babylon. Whom are we talking about in the plagues? Obviously about Babylon. And I shall render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee. Against whom? Against whom? Against Babylon. We agree, right? He did say it. Okay. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain. What is it called, Babylon? Destroying mountain. Or mountain the destructor. Depending on the translation. This one says destroying mountain. I like the destructor. Mountain the destructor. Sounds better. Destroying mountain. Like the Terminator. A destroying mountain. Who is the destroying mountain for Yahweh? Babylon. I'll read this and I'll shut up. It says, behold, I am against thee, all destroying mountain, says Yahweh, that have destroyed all the earth. That mountain, it's a destroying mountain because they love to destroy, which destroys all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. From a destroyed mountain, it'll become what? A burnt mountain. Notice well, because this is a prophecy.
It's kind of like how you were saying mountain and empire from the last subject from last week.
That is what I'm teaching now. That's exactly what I'm teaching now. Mountain, it's an empire. And a destroying mountain is Babylon. Destroying mountain is Babylon. But from destroying mountain, what will happen? A burnt mountain. And if it's burnt, what was it burnt with? Even if symbolically speaking, with fire. Let's go back to what the trumpet says. It reads as follows. And the second angel sounded the trumpet, and like a great mountain, but pay attention, great mountain, destroying mountain, burning with fire. If the great mountain silence, if the great mountain is burning with fire, it was a great, nice mountain, right? But if it's burning with fire, how's it left? Burnt mountain. You see. So then Babylon, which is the destroying mountain, Babylon, which is the destroying mountain, will be a burnt mountain. Here in the second plague, the prophecy starts to be fulfilled of Jeremiah 51:24 through 25, just talking about Babylon. It says, and the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain, Babylon, burning with fire, was cast into the sea. Burning with fire, because it was burning and it'll fall down like a burnt mountain, was cast into the sea. Why in the sea? Because we pass on to a different dimension even. It was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. That doesn't matter. One part became blood, of course. And the third part died. It doesn't matter who died. One part of the creatures which were in the sea died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And what are the ships? The ships is all the means. The ships are all means of transportation. And if we talk about means of transportation, we're talking about merchantry, because the means of transportation, it's more for businesses more than anything for tourism. It is just for the merchants, because to transfer all the things that are consumed, the articles that people consume from one place of the world to the other, it's all transportation. Notice how in Revelation chapter 18, the great merchants were the ones that would transport all the things, and they say all the things that they transport in ships. You understand? So then, when it talks about, where was I? I am lost here in the text. Ships of the sea. Third part of the ships of the sea, it was that it was destroyed. Economy was destroyed, because we're talking about transportation. We're talking about economy precisely. So then, this strikes the economy of Babylon. That's why it starts to burn. You see, when it says the economy is burning up, or Wall Street is burning, symbolically speaking, or the economy was burnt out, or whatever. I don't know about the expression, but things with fire, it's burning. It means that there is a great economical problem. So then how do I see this? Well, one of the things of taking the peace away from the earth is by the economy to be entered into a state that is very, very low, in a very crisis that we start to see with the banks. Hold on for the banks, and another one start to fail, and if they take out the green one or the dollar, like Brian said, Brian was the interpretation that he said. Brian wanted credit for that. Burning with red, a good expression. That's a good expression. When things are in red, it means that they're being burnt. They're in red. So then, it could be that the peace of the earth is taken away if they touch people's pockets, if they touch people's accounts. It says the bank is shutting down. That's it. It's lost. So then the fall of the economy. You see that? Why? Because there's a key word here. Because here it says exactly. Ships were destroyed. I don't care about the third, but the ships that are destroyed, it means that the economy that is based in the transportation falls into the. They would say here that if the truck drivers would stop, then economy would fall. Do you remember that? It's all a relation, and we're seeing that there is, like never before seen in this country, there is how the prices are going up, and inflation that's terrible. In Argentina, we're used to that, and Argentina is the king of inflation. But here in the U.S., no, none whatsoever. And for things to go up and that they don't come back down. Wow. I mean, that right there, it makes you, what word could we use? Gives you anxiety, and it gives you a little bit of panic for many people that what we're earning, they could buy this and that, and they can no longer buy it. So many things that I'm listening to. We could go out right now. No, we can't go. We have to reduce because things have gone up, and when we pay those things, we have to reduce. So then, but point starts that people start to lose their houses. That is complete desperation. So then it could be on that time economical. We've also had medical merchandise that could become economical, and now everything really hits the fan right there. Some guy that doesn't have money because they took it away, he lost his job, that has no peace, he enters into an active phase. The active phase that you perfectly well know about, it's precisely when one has no peace. It's not, the person's not hungry, they have cold hands, they can't sleep because they're looking for a solution. So then the second plague, trumpet and seal, it would be as if the world is in an active phase because there is an economical commotion, or it starts at least. It starts very well. And I love that verse of Jeremiah 51:24-25. And I shall render unto Babylon, precisely, and shall render unto Babylon and all them that dwell in Chaldea everything that they destroyed in Zion, and Zion is the bride, the sons of Elohim, and even the two witnesses. Before your eyes, saith Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyest all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. There it is. Now we go to Daniel. Daniel 2:34-35. I've mentioned this already. I wanted to read the text today. Daniel 2:34-35. It reads as follows. Thou sawest till that a stone, a what? A stone. A stone is a infamous part of a mountain, right? But not just that. But that precisely this stone was cut out from a mountain, but it becomes it becomes a mountain. A stone is cut from a mountain, but that stone strikes the statue, and that stone becomes a mountain. Not any mountain, but what a kind of a mountain? It covers the whole earth. The symbol is perfect. Mountain is a kingdom. Especially Babylon is the great mountain. Daniel 2:34-35. Thou sawest till a stone was cut out without hands, so not a human being cut it, which smote the image of Nebuchadnezzar. Where was it? Here? What? Oh, it's back here. Yes. Here's the image. There it is. There you have it. And also the stone there. Okay. There's the image. Do you see it on camera? Yes, perfectly well. There it is. The stone and the image. And struck the image upon his feet of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. Everyone believes, all Christians of course Christians, everyone believes that that stone is Jesus, that he is the rock. They even say the rock is Jesus, but not the Jesus they believe. Not that Jesus came 2,000 years ago. It's not Yahweh. The rock is the sons of Elohim, but of course Daniel says so in Daniel chapter 7, that the Son of Man is the people of the saints of the Most High. So then, that people of the saints of the Most High is the one that will inherit the earth, because the earth is theirs. It's not of the Creator. So the Creator made this earth so that His sons, His bride, His specific people, however you want to call it, His Mashiach, His people, rule this earth. When the 6,000 years of creation end. So then, this is very clear. A stone cut out from a mountain, which is mountain, obviously, Babylon, strikes the statue a meaningful rock, and that unmeaningful stone, which which is not Yahweh, when it strikes the statue in its feet, it destroys the statue, and it becomes the eternal kingdom that covers the whole earth, that'll dominate the whole earth eternally. It is very clear, absolutely clear. Stone, mountain, mountain, stone, kingdom, greater kingdom, eternal kingdom. Zechariah 4, 6 through 10, Jerusalem 1925. Zechariah 4, 6 through 10, Jerusalem 1969. Then he answered and spake unto me, this is the word of Yahweh unto Zerubbabel. I remind myself, Zerubbabel, Zora means born in Babylon. He that is born in Babylon, but of course, because we are all born in the mountain, because we're cut out from the mount. So then Zerubbabel is another name of Elijah, is another name of the prophet. This is the word of Yahweh unto Zerubbabel, not because of the value or the strength, but for my spirit, saith Yahweh Zebaoth. So then we've been instructing ourselves. We get to this point, but the end, we're going to need already an instruction, already more at a level of Yahweh, so as to be able to do what we have to do. I'm referring to the instruction over the internet. But only by my spirit, saith Yahweh, and also spirit. It's a reference to, even if you believe it or not, to Zerubbabel. It is the Spirit sent by Yahweh. But only by my Spirit, saith Yahweh. Whom art thou? Look at how great this is. Whom art thou, O great mountain? Who is the great mountain? Babylon. But of course, Babylon. Who art thou, O great mountain? Whom art thou, O Babylon? Whom art thou, O destroying mountain? You destroying mountain. Whom art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou will be a plain. O great mountain of Babylon, before Zerubbabel, that will be a plain. And he shall bring forth the headstone thereof, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof, with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it. And it was given unto me the word of Yahweh under these terms. The hands of Zerubbabel, they laid the foundation, as if to say, the base of this house. What house? The temple. And who's the temple? The bride of Yahweh. We, who laid the foundation, the hands of Zerubbabel, laid the base unto this house. And his hands will, not only that he started it, but he's going to finish it. There's no replacement. If there's a replacement, it's because it was not Zerubbabel. And you shall know that Yahweh Zebaoth has sent me unto you. For who hath despised the day of small things? Many, absolutely. Of course, we started modestly with the book that we didn't understand, that it was better in our belly, understanding there were two when it was one. Modest beginnings. For who hath despised the day of the small things? It was very modest. No title, long hair, using expressions that people would say, what? Who despised the day of the modest beginnings? For they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet. The plummet equals the measuring rod. It's a symbol that looks like it. The plummet is to see if something is straight or not. So then it's a measuring to see if it's straight or not. The plummet in the hand. You see what the plummet is? Every one of you know, right? Maybe women that have never seen a plummet in their hand, maybe. To see if something is constructed straight or not. Straight or not, they use something that is a plummet it's hung from a thread that it measures the same as the plummet. So then you put it just at the top of the wall, and then you see without any movement to see if we can measure if the distance from above is the same distance as below, and we know that if it's like this or like that. That is what a plummet is, to see if it's straight, to see if it's well. So then we find it to be straight, measured with the plummet. So then, there's no other way. Even the greatest of the buildings use a plummet. Everything is with a plummet. Where was that here? Who has despised the beginnings of the modest beginnings? For they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet, the measuring rod, in the hand of Zerubbabel. Those seven are the eyes of Yahweh. They run throughout the whole earth. The seven spirits, we've talked about a lot about the seven spirits already, which are also a symbol of omnipresence and something that the bride will receive. Okay, and now we go to Mark and how great this one is. Okay, before we move from this text, the mountain, what's it called? Babylon? Mountain, who art thou, O great, great mountain? Mountain, before Zerubbabel you shall be a plain. A plain. Okay, let's go to Mark 11:20 through 24. And in the morning, as they passed by, they saw that the fig, who? The famous fig tree. The fig tree represents whom? Babylon. Babylon, Israel. You see how the fig tree had been dried up from the roots. And then Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursest is withered away. And Yeshua answered, saith unto him, Have faith in God. For verily, of course, in what? In him is what he tried to say. Peter never understood a thing, nor in this time, nor in anything. Yeshua says, have faith in God. Why? Because you see who does everything. God. That's what he's saying. The subject is very clear. He says, look, the fig tree that you cursed, that's what Peter's saying. Peter, to top it off, he is disrespecting him. If Yeshua curses something, it's better that it gets cursed. Since he doesn't understand who Yeshua is, he gets surprised to see that the fig tree that his master, that he doesn't even know who he is, that had cursed, had withered away. It was for him. For him, it was all a surprise. Who's this guy? Look, what you cursed, but it's whether you cursed or cursed has withered away. What chance? It'd be good for the Grandpa Hines to die in these 2 weeks coming up. So because I really curse him, that son of a bitch, Mr. Hines, and you know what his name is. Kiss your ass, Hines. Kiss your ass. Oh, Kissinger, same thing. Hines Kissinger. Hines, kiss your ass. It'd be great for you to rest and for you to die before you get to 100. Mr. Hines, that'd be great for you to enter into rest, because I don't want it. I don't use ugly. I mean, these videos don't last anything. Download the videos, because we're going to have more problems with what I'm saying for you to understand this greatly. But Peter didn't know who Yeshua was. So then it says, and then in the morning they saw, I'll add this surprisingly, that the fig tree had withered away from the roots. And then Peter, calling to remember, and said unto him, Master, he didn't call him God, Master, Rabbi, behold the fig tree which thou cursed, that you cursed. Okay, there it is. That you cursed is withered away. And Yeshua answered and said unto him, have faith in God. What did he try to say? You have to have faith in me, Peter, because God didn't curse it in heaven, Peter, that you have in your mind, but I did, because God is here. I am God, Peter. I cursed it, and it gets withered away from the root. You're not understanding who to have faith in. That's what he says, have faith in God. And of course, Peter says, I do have faith in God. But he didn't have a lot of faith in him. I have faith in God, but I don't have a lot of faith in him. That's why I'm showing it to you. Wow, what words. You really hit it on the mark. You hit it on the mark this time. But Yeshua says, have faith in God. What Yeshua said, concealed up, even it's in parables. He says, Peter, I am God. Have faith in me. For verily I say unto you, there it is. God is speaking, not him. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, there it is, Jerusalem, there was the fig tree. Fig tree and mountain, the same thing. First, the fig tree dried up. Then he says, whomever that says unto this mountain, what mountain? The sacred mountain of Moriah, of Jerusalem here. Whomever that would say to this mountain of the temple, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. And I have faith that Grandpa Heinz passes into rest. Heinz, pass into rest, dry up like the fig tree, because you're part of the fig tree, part of the mount. But of course, that was Yeshua in his power. It's very easy to say that I'm already doubting in my heart, maybe. What's it say here? Oh, he fucked us up right here. Yeshua fucked us all up. And if you don't doubt, well, because you doubted, fuck it out. How easy is that? It's so easy, right? It says, for verily I say unto you that whosoever shall say unto this mountain. Okay, but what was the mountain? It was the people of Israel, obviously. That mountain, and we understand it, because Peter didn't understand. Think this for us, so that we read it. That mountain was Babylon. Whoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed from power, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart. That's the hardest part of everything he said, and he really fucked us all up. And shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. It's difficult, right? Because of course, when it doesn't come true, we're going to say we had doubts. And if we ever had any doubts, next time there'll be more doubts. Is it true? And then it gets to a point where you don't even have faith, because why are you going to have faith? You only have words. What you say is not fulfilled. So then how do we redo the faith of that what you say will be done? It is very difficult. It is very difficult. I believe it starts with oneself, by saying the things that I could do, and to do them and to fulfill them. It's start to be formed confidence. How to say confidence? Confidence in oneself. But first, by fulfilling what comes out of our tongues, so as to later to say, this will happen. And I don't doubt it. And then we'll see. And then we'll later see. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. And this principle is very good that we have to apply. Unfortunately, we don't have sometimes, I don't want to say faith, sometimes we don't have the confidence that it is so. When we desire something, we have to say that it is done. And for example, I want to come to mind because I used like the ring. Many of you desire to have the ring and don't have the least possibility of getting $200. But to top it off, I even told you this is a good chance of exercising your faith. How? By knowing at a conscious level, not a divine level, at a conscious level, not a divine level, a conscious level. That you don't have $200 in where you live. If you were to have that money, you would use it for something else you need, not on a ring. That says LVE. Who could give a fuck? And to top it off, what if the post office steals it? And I don't even know how to write the address. And in order for Christian to drive him crazy, and even the number. And if I go to the jeweler and says I need a number, can you give me that? So then, if I put all those things together in my mind, my flesh, human mind, as Yahweh says, is no, I'm not gonna order anything. I can't. No. This moment is as an exercise to demonstrate that the words of Yeshua are true. One is to say in his mind, I want that ring. I know that I don't have $200, and that if I had it here, it'd be so difficult for me to send it to Christian, even less with everything that I pay for it, that they're going to take my light away or the water. I don't have enough to eat, and I'm thinking about a ring. No. Even if I had that money, I could not give it to him. But that is what we're in the flesh level. Even your mind, you decide like God. As God. Okay, that ring. As an owner, and I am an owner of it. How will the things come? Today I decree for the money to get here. If it comes in quotes, Christian said for me to pay it in quotes. In payments, even if it's 500 quotes, because I didn't say you have to give me 10 quotes. No, I could say, I don't know, $10 a month. I say I can't even do $10 a month. Just an example. Can I say $10 a month? Well, okay, I'll give him $10 a month. I'm gonna put together and give it to him, and it'll show up. You decree. That's it. It's over. You forget, and you decree $10 a month. It'll show up, and I'll send it to Christian. How long will it take? 20 quotes. It says, well, I can't pay $10. Well, some could pay more. It's just an example. And maybe one comes and says, I can't eat, I could pay $5. Okay, it'll take 40 quotes. Who do I know? I could care less. I gave you the possibility. The interests are way high. No, that's a lie. No interests or anything. Zero. The only interest that I have, and I have a lot of interest, is for you to have it. That's what I do have an interest in. Is that it doesn't mean that you deserve it. My interest for you to have it is clear. But maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe because you don't have faith. So if you don't have faith, you don't deserve it. To have something that they send it to you as a present, you don't deserve it. But you decree, like it says here, look, I want to have that ring. This is just an example. I'm talking about anything. This is an example. I want that ring. The money will show up and I'll pay it this way. When you decree that and you believe that, you already created a reality that in your flesh mind you cannot accept. That is where you have to work in that. That reality, you created it, and I've done that technique. I've tried it so many times. And I've demonstrated it so many times. Tried it, not of trying, but trying is demonstrated it. Because how many things could I not do? When I decree them, it could be done. When you decree them, the path is opened. The path is opened. In fact, it's so crazy. It's as crazy as if to say, look, it's as crazy as if to say that I heard it, it's not mine. I heard it somewhere else, but I saw it how it works as a decree. There are people that don't have any dollar to give, and they've never given anything, not tithes, not offerings, nor anything, not even comments, nothing. If you get to say, and you decree this, and you say, I decree before Elohim these words, and I tell you that it works, but it's a temptation. And many, since they are selfish as their nature and they haven't overcome this, they don't fulfill this. But if you get to say, I don't have anything now to give to this ministry, and there's the example of the ring, but I decree that money will show up, a money that's marvelously, magically. So, someone will send me money. You don't even know how it'll come, but next month we're going to receive money. And that money, you cannot touch it unless you send it. That is the problem with most people. So then what happens with that? If you decree, I don't know if I'm making myself be understood. If I decree I don't have anything to give now, but I decree that from here until a month or 2 months, within that time, I'm going to receive money, life, the universe, God, however you want to call it, will give me money that is not of my job. It's a job that's aside. It's a money that's aside. It's a magical money, just like that, magical money. When that gets here, I don't know when or where, I'm going to grab it and send it. So then, what happens when you decree that? Magic shows up because you have to believe it. Like Yeshua says right here, you have to believe it. And all of a sudden, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month later, someone from your family gives you money. You find money in the street, or the government sends you some money that you didn't even know you had. You're going to throw something away and you find money. Something happens and they give you money. Your boss says, look, I want to give you a present. You don't deserve it, but here, there's money. It comes in the most unexpected way, but money gets here because you decreed it. But the problem is that you decreed it with a purpose, and you know what people do? They say, there's the example of Ananias. It says, oh, yeah, it's not because of what I decreed. That's why I said, I tell it to you, but I'm going to fuck up more than one. What? Because the money will come. The money will come for sure. There's no way for it not to come, because if you know what it is to decree, if you know what it is to decree, money will come. And when you decree it, it comes. But when it comes, you start to explain, oh, it's not because of what I said. This money, I had it saved. I had forgotten about it 5 years, but I had it there. What I found has nothing to do with what I decreed. That it's not that. It's not that. And they keep it, or they say, okay, half. I'll give half what I promised, and half for me. They're so fucked. And that is the greatest example of Ananias and Zephariah. That's the name, right? I don't know their name. Ananias and Zafar. It sounds weird. That's why I'm asking. If it's Ananias, is it so or not? It was just a percentage. They say, I promise this, but I use it because it's a physical law. I'll promise this whole. And they sell it, and then they say, oh, wow, I sold it for more than what I was thinking. No, hold on. I'll keep a little bit, just a little percentage. Peter, nobody's going to know. But why is that story is there? Because it shows you a principle. When you promise and you don't follow up, you get a horrible curse. I just taught you a secret. Ask. I decree and put a time that in the following it could be 6 months. In the following 6 months, I'm going to get money. That whole money, all that money, has this mission to buy the ring. For example, that whole money, I want to give it to here because I never give anything, and I believe it. And it'll show up. It's not the effort of my work. It'll show up by itself. It shows up by itself. You have to fulfill it just like you promised, or else the curse. Remember Ananias and Zafar. It's automatic. It's not that God gives it to you. The curse, you have it automatically because you did not fulfill. You did not keep your word, since the universe works for us because there are laws, cosmic laws. Let's say cosmic, not at the New Age. Yahweh placed laws just like tides. It works in our favor because it works. If you were to know, no one has become poor given tithes. I understand the bitter tides, the hearts of you that you don't want to give tithes. And now the new one in the Torah, okay, that's right. The Torah is no longer, but the laws are still there. I'll tell you, Shabbat Shalom. That's why I enjoy Shabbat. So then, Yahweh says, are you idiots? If you were to give your tithes, it says, I would open the gates of heaven, the windows of heaven, and bless you in a way that's so great. So great that you would not even know what to do with it because you don't receive it because you're bitter.
Last Shabbat, we were talking precisely about that, how the people want blessings.
Exactly.
and bless me, bless me.
Bless me.
But they are not a blessing to anyone.
Exactly, completely.
It's all about asking for blessings.
Harsh what Leslie just said. People ask for a blessing, and they're not a blessing to anybody. We heard it we've heard this every time. Exactly, exactly. So then, what Yeshua says here, it's so clear. It is a command. I'll read it again. It reads as follows: Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray. I'm not talking about the mountain only. Everything that ye ask, praying, believe that you receive them. There's the secret. It's not the prayer itself. It's not the prayer itself. It is the decree. Believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. That's it. If you decree today, that ring is mine, I'm going to buy it, that's it, it's over. It's mine. And Elohim in life will give you what you receive extra. I will pay for it, and I'll pay it in this time. That's it, it's over. It's decreed. That's it, it's over. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. What I taught you about the money, the magical money, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. But remember, it's a two-edged sword. If you're not willing to fulfill, like that text that said, if you're not willing to say a vow that you do not make the angel of Yahweh wroth, something like that. Do not make the angel of Yahweh wroth, something like that. It was good. It's a good text. Therefore, practice it if you want, if you dare, and if you want to start to practice this, to say like that. Very well. If you have that text, that'd be great. Of course, you create and you believe and you create. That's where everything comes. Believe and you create. But it's easy to say it. The thing is to practice it. It's easy to say it. The thing is to practice it. Do you have faith in God? And do you have faith in that it'll be fulfilled? Did you give me that text? Okay, don't you worry about it. No. It sounds like it. I think it's Ecclesiastes. What's it say? Oh. Hey, Ecclesiastes what?
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
Yes, and there's another expression.
Let not your mouth make you for your flesh do evil, and say not before the angel it was an error, so that God may not be angry with your words and put an end to the work of your hands.
That one, that's the one.
And I'd like to add, that happens amongst friends.
Of course.
So then, if you don't fulfill and follow through a promise, how's your friend ever going to trust in the next promise you make him?
Ecclesiastes what? What version was it? Okay, the New Living Translation. Okay, here it is. When you promise unto God, don't delay in following through, for God takes no pleasure in fools. Starting with that. Keep all the promises you make to Him. It is better to say nothing than to make a promise and not to keep it. But those that don't say anything also fuck off. That's the thing. Say, no, I'm gonna just keep this and nothing. I don't say anything. We don't want those either. We want hot people. And same thing. If you are quiet, you concede, you never order anything, you are out into hell. Do not let your mouth cause you to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. It was an error, it was a mistake, I didn't want this. That act would anger God and destroy the work of thine hands. That is what I want to show you. If you ask magical money, quote unquote, for it to show up from out of nowhere, and you ask for it, but you can't ask it just to ask it. You have to ask it to do that, and specifically to give. If you don't follow up, you're gonna lose even what you don't have. That's what I said. It's a two-edged sword. Yeah, it's a course. Yeah, it happens with friends and humans. Exactly. Exactly. Correct. It's some very little measure. It's like credit, the credit score that I hate. I have a credit that's very good of 900. My credit score. It's very difficult to have that. But what happens? If you're a guy that you buy and you don't pay and you pay late, your credit starts to go down and down and down. And then you ask for credit and say, no, not with this money, not with this score. Who the fuck are you? Credit score, how would we say that? Maybe some people won't understand. Puntaje, the credit score. If your credit score, let's suppose that in the US it's 650 to 750 is good. They say it's fair, it's good. From 500 to 600, it's fair. Nobody gives you anything. Turn around. From 500 to below, you are delinquent, give or take. Give or take. From 700 or 750 to 900, which would be the maximum, give or take, it's excellent. So then when you have a credit, they check in the credit bureau, they say, you're asking for this and you have 800. Oh, you have demonstrated that you pay on time. Maybe you paid a little late a couple times, but you don't have any outstanding debts. Any outstanding debts, you pay them all. Okay, I'll give you the credit. If you're gonna buy a car with 400, they'll say, what? Bring me 500 people, co-signers, because you're not even gonna take, not even a tire. You'll never pay for it. It's like Leslie says, a friend has that mental credit. If you fail a friend and then later to trust in you, exactly.
And also, when you fail yourself, right there,
While you are in that subject that's so important, people fail themselves. Exactly. It's fundamental because you fail yourself. You start to, with failing you, to yourself. You fail yourself, and then you fail others, and then you fail like anything else. And I don't want to teach you to not fail or anything. What I'm teaching is that the judges don't ever fail. They are excellent. That is what you have to aim to. Because else, how is Elohim going to give you a post for you to rule as kings? You yourself would not do that. You would not do that. You have a whole quantity of friends, and you know them how they are. Half of them have always failed you. You invite them, they get there late, or they don't even get there. You lend them money, and they don't ever pay you back. And within your 100 friends, you have 5 that are always with you, always speak great of you. You have everything that you ask them money, they pay you back, and to top it off, they give you a gift because you did a favor for them. Then later, you have to give them an enormous post because you have a land to give. Who are you going to give it to? You'd have to be too stupid to give to those that didn't give you anything. They don't give you comments. They don't give you likes. They don't offer anything to you. They don't offer help you in anything. You see that all they want is want. They want. They want. They want. To those, I'm going to give. No, I'm going to give it to these that were always with me, that always helped me. You would do it. Imagine Elohim. Imagine with serious boasts as what it is to be kings and rulers of the earth. Wow. He says, so if you're faithful in the little things, I will place you over the many things. And if you're not faithful in the few, he will not place him over anything. It's very clear. It's very clear. Absolutely clear. And any more clear than that, I mean, you couldn't ask for any more. So then, we get to what? To the second plague. Trumpet seal is referring to a great mount will fall upon or in the sea burning. That could have many interpretations. But the most important of them all that I could present is that once you know that the peace is taken away from the earth, there's a great sword, it's the color of red. They kill each other, and also I see that the economy falls. Strepitously it falls, and the Mount of Babylon starts to burn. In fact, because this is burning, it fell into the sea. The most important thing in through which Babylon dominates the world are two things. It is the banks and the pharmakeia. Pharmakeia, well said, so that the pharmakeia and the banks. The economical power and the scientific power, let's say scientific power. Through those two powers, if the scientist or the banker rather, or the economical power starts to fall, then it starts to burn up. Things go into red, the accounts are into red, and the power of Babylon falls. And it falls into the sea. What is the sea? Well, I have to continue to interpret it. The sea is the people, so then it means that it starts to get reduced. Babylon, the mountain, starts to be reduced, and people start to absorb it. That is what I can interpret, that it falls in the people. Not in a literal sea, but in the people's. The people starts to be had by the people. That doesn't mean that it's right. It means that more problems come. Because actually, this will not end in the way that the people believe. It ends with 1/3 alive and 2/3 dead. That is literal. Give or take, is those that are not marked. So then, for the power and the people to fall, it could be even worse for Babylon to have it than for Babylon to have it. Because the people have that power if they're marked. What do you expect from people that are marked? You see, am I making myself be understood? For the mountain of power to fall in the people is nothing good. When the people guide it itself, and if the people are marked now, it doesn't get to anything good. Look at the multitude that does not have the truth, but rather they want to have their own justice, and they don't do it adequately. You understand, right? So then there's nothing right for the mountain to fall into the sea. It continues, and the problem, that's why there's more plagues, that's why there's more seals, more trumpets, which is all the same thing. And from then it takes off unto the third one. But the third one, which is precisely the text of, wait, hold on, the text was the fourth one and the third one. Revelation 8:10. Wow. Revelation 8:10, 11. It is the fourth one, but since I'm not going to present it today, so it's already been 3 hours, and this, I'm going to leave it for next week. I'll read the text of the invitation once again. Revelation 8:10 through 11. I'll read in the Spanish RV 1960. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. Same thing as if to say, what I said. How art thou falling, O Lucifer? And it fell upon the third part of the rivers. Third part of the rivers, it does not matter, but the rivers do, and the fountains of the water. So then, there is a problem. The power of the Babylonian power that I could define as the power, we could say, even Ashkenazi, just like that naked, I'll say it. The Jewish power falls. but it falls in a bad way because that power is called wormwood. That star is called wormwood. And why wormwood? Because they're really bitter people. When they have this base, it's bitter. Bitterness walking, this is wormwood. It embitters your life. It doesn't ever let you see the truth. The Torah doesn't let you see the truth, and it makes you a deplorable being like the beast is. That's why all the Orthodox are deplorable. They live filthy lives. The women are subjected. They themselves are subjected, enslaved. It's bitterness. There's no better word than to define Judaism as wormwood. It's bitterness, pure bitterness. Or else look at a marriage of these. Their marriages, men celebrate alone. It's all a horrible. It is bitterness completely. So then, once I understand that Lucifer is bitter, I'll read it again, and I'm not. We'll review it next week. But keep this in mind. It says, "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, Lucifer, burning as it were a lamp." Of course, exactly like a lamp bearer, the light of the nations. But it fell. It fell where? And it started to fall. There comes a time when Judaism itself says, "Hold on, this was not what we're seeing. This is not." That's why I'm telling you, this is very subtle. This is not so simple to interpret it when it hasn't happened. But at some point in time, their own religion falls upon their heads. There's revolution within themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll read it, and then you'll try to understand what I'm trying to say. It reads as follows: "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, Lucifer. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers." The third part of the rivers, it doesn't matter, but it falls, what's important, upon the rivers. It doesn't affect the sea, because the sea are the goyim. The rivers, which represent, at least they represented the truth. And upon the fountains of water. Which are the fountains of the waters? If someone were to tell me which are the fountains of the water, the real ones, we wouldn't even know what to answer, because the scientists say, what are the fountains of the water? There's no fountains of the water. You have the oceans, you have the rivers, and it's a perpetual circle, and it evaporates, it rains, which is, where is the center of the waters? They could not answer it. What is the fountains of the waters? They're going to say, no, there's no fountain of the waters. It's a globe to start. And the water recycles itself. There's no fountain. But the Bible says there's a fountain. I'm not from an original fountain. There could be an original fountain, and I place it kind of like in the north. That's where I place it. But forget what's literal. The fountains of the waters is the fountains of religion. The fountains of religion are these sons of bitches. I mean these people that have the Torah. It's these people. This is the fountain. This is the fountain. Yahweh himself said it. They are Lucifer. They are the fallen star. So then, but it'll fall upon themselves. What does that mean? That there is going to be a type of bitterness and revolution within themselves. Why? I could not explain it. But there's something that they themselves punish themselves. Their power falls and falls upon themselves. I'll read it again and get your own conclusions. If it's the little Red Riding Hood, that's fine. "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood." That is the name. Another name for Israel. Babylon, Wormwood, the beans, the mountain, the mount, and all the rest. The prostitute, of course. "And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter." So then, what do I interpret? That wormwood is something that they have in their doctrine, and something takes place in their womb, which makes them even more bitter than they are. Not just more bitter, but also that it would seem to be a killing amongst themselves that we're about to see in Israel. They're all killing each other there. And they want to take Netanyahu out of there. It's all a disaster. So then within their own heart, that fall of Lucifer falls upon themselves. That is why I interpret maybe It's something a little bit different, but that's fine. We are right. They are wormwood, the bitterness of humanity, but of course, whatever they touch, they make it bitter. Is it so or not? Of course. And the lamp bearer falling are them. They are the lamp bearers. Israel is the light of the nations. So then, how will this take place? That is where we could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. But we know, give or take, where it comes from. But if to that we add this last detail that I should not present, but I will. We'll explain it again next Shabbat, and then we'll understand it even better. How do I know that wormwood are them? Because it sounds logical. Yeah, because I say it, and me because I give you confidence. Is there more, even more? Yes, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. It is the definition. Where? In the plague is the definition. I'll just read it to you. And with this, I'll conclude. Revelation 16, 4 through 7. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers. These are rivers. And upon the fountains of waters. Once again, fountains of waters. And they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art, and wast, and shalt be, because thou hast judged thus. But of course, judgment. These things. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets. Let's stop there. Who shed the blood of the saints and the prophets? The sea? No. No, not the Goyim. Who shed the blood of the prophets? Who did? Israel. They all died in Israel. And so then, who is the fountains of the waters? Here it says so. I just read it to you. It says that the angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of the waters. And it says the fountains of the waters say, Thou art just. Why just? Because you spread your fountain where you had to spread it. Where did I spread it? You spread it in the people that killed the prophets. And give me another definition. The fountains of the waters, more than clear. It's impossible for it to be more clear. Now that I explained to you, it's impossible. If the cup was poured over the fountains of the water, says that, and then you are the ones to blame for the blood of the saints. Who is to blame? Israel. It's more than clear. It's impossible. I know that I explained to you well, and you see it clearly, but it's impossible for it to be clearer. So then I've explained the next plague already. We'll talk about it next Shabbat because it's fascinating, spectacular, because you've got the third seal. It says, what does the third seal say? It says, and the third angel sounded, and it said, the third living being said, Come. And then I saw a black horse, and the one thereon had in his hand a scale, and I saw a voice within the living beings. It is very great. It's very good. Difficult to understand. And 3 liters of barley is also worth 1 day's worth. But do not destroy the olive oil and the wine. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's difficult to understand. Worst of all is that we've got to conjecture it. Is it? What's the word? No. There was this word that I learned here in Argentina. We didn't use it a lot. Naomi used to use it a lot. You have to what? Conjoin. There's a word that I heard here. Concatenate. Yeah, because they use it a lot in Mexico. I've never used it in Argentina. Concatenate. You have to concatenate this. Concatenate this. In other words, you have to join it harmoniously, the plague, the seal, and the trumpet. That is what we'll study next Shabbat. I forgot something. In the second plague, that we're going to always read the trumpets, all of them. I'm telling you, and I think that next Shabbat I'll start in the third one, the fourth, and the fifth. No. We'll start with the first one. And we start with the first one, second, third, fourth. Okay, but here is something very important in the second one. Something very important that I loved. Revelation 16:3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. Where does he pour it? Upon the sea. You start to identify this. That the sea is generalized by the Goim. Rivers, fountains of the waters, you already know who that is, the fountains of the waters, where those who are to blame for the death of the prophets, it's the fountains. You understand, right? Everything is very clear. That's why I like to go slow, because you start to understand, you start to grasp the concept, and the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. You're in the concept. And it became as the blood of the dead man. Wow. And every living soul died in the sea. Okay, taking every living soul died in the sea, taking it out, which could have certain truth in it. Wow, it could have some truth in it. You know what? I'll explain it differently. Because if the sea, we can find it as the 2/3 of those that are marked. You see how the sea are the 2/3 of the earth, right? You don't believe me? Look, not the globe, but the plane. You see? The 2/3 are of water, and 1/3 is the earth. Yes or no? A little bit of earth with all the water. Okay. So then, if we find the sea as the 2/3 that will go to hell, that will be put to rest for 1,000 years. Okay, let's find our place. Forget about everything I said before. Let us find the sea, the 2/3 marked by the beast. That if they mark the beast, and they have to be put to rest, the earth would be 1/3 that will stay. An example. You understand, right? But look at what it says. And the second is going to pour out his vial upon the sea. You already know. The 2/3 that leave. And this became as the blood of a dead man. And every living soul died in the sea. If I were to interpret it that way, sooner or later, every one of them that have the mark of the beast will end up dead. It doesn't say that they died instantly. It says that they have the blood of a dead man. You know that all those that are marked with 1, 2, 3 doses, first thing that when they check their blood, it's thick. And I've heard so many of the white robe that says the blood, it seems to be as that of a dead man. Why? Because it coagulates. It's a lot more dense. When you die, the first thing is that it coagulates. And what is the greatest problem that they're having now? It coagulates. The blood coagulates. It gets blacker than what's common. If you see, there's many videos, but I don't want to be too specific and too explicit speaking. So I want this video to stay up. But there's some videos of those that are marked and the non-marked, and that of the marked is a lot blacker, and it coagulates. It looks like the blood of a dead man. It's like the red cells don't even want to move. They're agonizing. They want to die. And the blood, that's the blood of the marked. Did I say non-marked? Of those that are marked. And the blood of those that are non-marked, they have a feast. They have a party. They're talking with the white cells. Everything kicked back. As long as they don't have that which those that are marked have. Evidently, after the mark of the beast is not that an angel comes and pours his cup. It is a consequence of the first seal that is open. The rest are 7 consequences, 7 more consequences. It's not that this is a lie that says I am the angel number 1, and I sound the trumpet, and now this will. No, that is stupidity. That is the little Red Riding Hood. And then it says, and then another angel came that has a cup in his hand, and he poured it upon the. It's just a lie. Don't believe that. That is for idiot Christians. But for the Messiah, it says, oh, once this starts with the final sequence of the earth, all the rest of the punishments are a consequence of what has been happening. It's 7 stages of the same punishment. 7 stages of the same action. And the same action has already started. It already started with the cup of wine 19. There is where it started, and the rest will be a consequence of what this did here, and this, that. There's no angel pouring and pouring. No. When, for example, when this mark, Fide, which makes arrows, just wait for the people to get angry at them, and then there's going to be a lamp bearer against them. Bayern, Johnson, they're all of them come from the fountain of the waters. All of them, every one of them, all the fountains of the water. Wall Street is on the fountains of the waters. Just wait for that to start to burn. It's going to be warm wood that'll embitter the whole earth. I tell it to you now. So then it's all a consequence of. Don't ever imagine a little angel sounding a trumpet or pouring a vial. No, none of that. It's a consequence of. So then, the blood as of a dead man, we're seeing that now, but not in its greatest potential. They all have it inside. The blood of a dead man. The blood of a dead man, they have it inside. They all have it inside. And they have 2 or 3, or even 4. Mental, how embarrassing. Why are you laughing? They have it double. They have a double one inside. Why? Because they want it more and more, and so it's already inside. And so what's it say? What's it say? It reads as follows: and the second angel poured out his vial, symbolism, upon the sea, and it became blood of a dead man. Well, the blood of dead men, they all have it. It's dead men walking. I heard somebody from the white robe, that give or take, he wants to get white, and son of a bitch. It says, I believe that with what I see now, that those that have that is a dead man walking. Wow. A dead man walking. Why? Because you can't do anything so as to take away what they have. Because they also have the theory taken out from the graphene and all the rest. There's also the theory that it could be 2 things combined. It could be, since I don't care much about it and I can't prove it, I just read the scripture and interpret. It could be a change, a genetic change, aside from the graphene. And if they have a genetic change, forget it. Nobody will ever change it back. Do you understand what I'm saying? There you have the blood of the dead man. Why? Because you're dying already. You'll die in 30 days, suddenness, or 1 year, 2 years from now. It doesn't matter. You already sealed your death. Your blood is that of a dead man. We have pure blood or that of a dead man, depending on what you said. And so then the second plague says is exact. The second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. And it became, if we talk about the sea, in this case, are the 2/3 that leave, then it's perfect that for them all to die. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man. It says that the blood is like that of a dead man, not of a dead man. And it's precisely what these sons of bitches say. And it says that every living being died in the sea, if it's like I just said, but of course, they have their death sentence where? In their blood. Why? Because they received the mark of the beast. Without any further ado, if the Lord allows it, we shall meet again next Shabbat. Those who have understood about developing the faith in God and about developing the faith in oneself, also test everything that I just said. Ask for that magical money, and also ask for it to have a ring, or decree that you'll have a ring. How will you pay for it? That'll show up. That's it. For your mind that is already paid for it, and it'll show up. Start to practice it. We're in the time of plagues. We're in the final stage of the world. Personally, I believe that the blood as that of a dead man, all that are marked have it, that they are not falling now. It doesn't mean that they won't fall from here on out until the determined time. But if they have the blood of a dead man, it says that all living creatures died. But when? It doesn't say when. They will die. They have the poison inside. They have the mark of the beast, and they have the blood of a dead man. That is why I believe that we're in the final times. Let us wait. Without any further ado, let us wrap up with a word of prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because you have always given us the information that we need. You open the scripture for us to understand it, but we are all in one voice. Where art thou? Where is the Eloheinu of justice? Stop already given power to the beast. We want for all these prophecies to be fulfilled. We know that we are in the process, but we desire for it to be in the least time possible. All this we thank you for in your precious name, in the name of our husband Yahweh Sabaoth. Alleluia. Semper Fi. Semper Fi for every one of you. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live. A great big applause for the Argentum Bride of Yahweh. Alleluia to every one of you.